Hello, fans, and welcome to This Day in Baseball, where we're going to bring you a full radio broadcast of today's game. And before we do that, I just want to thank Classic Baseball Radio, and there's a link in the notes where you can check out their full channel. They have many great radio broadcasts. And while you're listening to today's game, if you want to check out much more about the game and the players, look on the links below, and you're going to see links to player pages, the date the game happened, the year it happened, and the play-by-play. Enjoy the game, and check out the links while you're watching the game. And please don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that every time new content comes out, you're going to get that firsthand. And thank you again for checking out This Day in Baseball, and enjoy the game.
Baltimore Orioles swept the two-game set down in Baltimore with the Sunday game rained out and came on here with the knowledge that only 4 teams in the history of the World Series have lost the first 2 and then come back to take a best-of-7 series. Baltimore figured after the performances by Dave McNally and Jim Palmer that the Pirates had no chance to come back. But Steve Blair probably pitched one of the best ball games that the Orioles have seen pitched all year against them, when he allowed the 3 hits and 1 run, and that was Frank Robinson's leadoff home run in the 7th inning. Blass was in complete control all the way. But there's some little things. I'm sure you know that Blass, a 15-game winner, won yesterday's 3rd game of the World Series and put the Pirates back into it. I'm sure you know, or perhaps you haven't heard by now, that Bob Robertson, up in the 7th inning, with Roberto Clemente on at second base and Willie Stargell on at first base and none out, was given the bunt sign. Robertson, who is a power hitter, a home run hitter, just doesn't get the bunt sign, wasn't looking for it, and swung away. Don Leppert, the first base coach, said, I thought to myself, I hope he doesn't hit into a double play. The ball cleared the right field fence for a 3-run home run, and Robertson, who was supposed to bunt, put the Pirates way out in front by the score of 5-1. But there's some other points about yesterday's ball game that I'd like to talk about tonight. And that is, first of all, catcher Manny Sanguillén. With the score 1-0, Sanguillén hit a ball to short right center field. Looked like a routine single. Rettenmund coming off to his left. And as Sanguillén later said, anytime I see a fielder have to come to his left in center, I'm going to try to stretch a single into a double. Sanguillén did with his blazing speed. And that became a very big single turn into a double as the next man, Jose Pagan, got up and lashed a single to left field, and Sanguillén scored easily. And the score was 2-0, and that run by Sanguillén turned out to be the winning run of the ball game. And out on the bench before the game, talking to Danny Murtaugh, manager of the Pittsburgh Pirates, I asked him about other fast catchers in the National or American League. In other words, quickness of foot. I couldn't think of any. Well, Danny had to go back a little bit, but said that Walker Cooper, when he first came up with the St. Louis Cardinals, was extremely fast. And my question to him was, that, by the way, the roar of the crowd as the Pirates are about to be introduced. My question to him was, faster than Sanguillén? He said at 60 yards, Walker Cooper back in those days could have run away from Manny Sanguillén. And he also put Clyde McCullough in there as one of the fast catchers of years gone by. But Sanguillén has speed. Now with the score of 2-1, after Robinson's home run to lead off the 7th, we come to the last of the 7th. And another bit of hustle on the part of the Pirates. Hustle that put them right back in this World Series. Roberto Clemente hit a ball right back to the mound, to Mike Cuellar. An easy out, right? Clemente took off at full gallop for first base. And Cuellar, a little shaken that Clemente would feel that he could even beat it out, hurried his throw to first base and pulled Powell off the bag. And that meant that Clemente was safe on the throwing error. And still shaken, Cuellar walked Stargell and then gave up that home run to Bob Robertson. So the hustle of Sanguillén, the hustle of Roberto Clemente belong in the same book when you talk about yesterday's 3rd game of the World Series, along with the pitching of Steve Blass and the home run by Bob Robertson. The first game of this series was won by Dave McNally 5-3 down in Baltimore. The second game, after the rain delay of Sunday, held on Monday, was the laughter for the Orioles. They won going away 11-3. But yesterday, the Pirates turned the tables. Now tonight, it'll be Luke Walker for the Pirates. Luke Walker, as we said, is the first left-hander that the Orioles will have faced in the series, aside from a brief relief appearance in that horrendous game for the Pirates on Monday by Bob Field. Walker is 6'2", 200 pounds, won 10 and lost 8 this year. His earned run average is 3.54. He does have control problems, but perhaps one of the most amazing things about Luke Walker is he has not pitched in 3 weeks. That's right, not pitched in 3 weeks and has hardly thrown a warm-up pitch along the way. So how well he will do tonight is a matter of question. And those on the Pirates roster and those who cover the Pirates all year long say Walker will either be untouchable or he will be very hittable. Now, against the Dodgers, his last complete game was way back in July. He shut out the Dodgers 4-0 on the 28th of July. He also pitched a one-hitter here in Three River Stadium against the Dodgers on July the 18th. He won it 7-1 and had a no-hitter until the ninth inning when Joe Ferguson led off with a home run. We'll have our lineups for you in just a moment, but now the Pirates along the first base line, the Orioles along the third for the playing and singing of our national anthem. Operatic voice you heard belonged to Mildred Miller of the Metropolitan Opera, who happens to be the wife of the Chancellor of the University of Pittsburgh, Mr. Wesley Povard. We'll talk about Pat Dobson, the Orioles pitcher, and give you the starting lineups in a moment. And we'll continue with our pregame highlights right after this message.
Well, we might bring you up to date briefly on the statistics. After 3 of the World Series games for 1971, ironically, both teams have been at bat as a team exactly 100 times. However, Baltimore has 27 hits in those 100 trips for a .270 average. Pittsburgh has 18 hits, and so Pittsburgh's average is 180. Baltimore has done all of its scoring, almost all of it, with 11 of its 16 runs coming in the middle 3 innings. Composite, 3 runs in the 4th, 7 runs in the 5th, and 1 run in the 6th inning. Pittsburgh has scored 6 of its 11 runs in the last 3 innings, scoring 3 runs in the 7th, 3 in the 8th. Neither team has scored in the 9th inning so far through 3 games. As far as the leading hitter in the World Series right now, Frank Robinson of Baltimore is hitting .583, 7 hits in 12 trips.
The first baseball has been thrown out by Stan the Man Musial, winner of 7 National League batting titles with a lifetime batting average, believe it or not, and I'm sure you do, .331. And of course, Stan was born and raised in Denora, Pennsylvania. Well, Dobson is a 20-game winner. Pat Dobson, the big strapping right-hander who will be facing the Pittsburgh Pirates. And the Pirates have seen Dobson before, and that he pitched with San Diego a year ago. Matter of fact, this will be Dobson's 4th series game. He was with the Detroit Tigers back in 1968. Appeared in relief in 3 of those ball games. He is 28 on the year, 2.90 his earned run average. He had a 12-game winning streak this year. He has excellent control, unlike that of the Pittsburgh starter, Luke Walker, averaging just about 2 walks per 9 innings. Most walks that Pat Dobson has given up in a ball game this year is 4. He did that on 3 occasions. He has allowed no runs by any team in the last 11 innings he has pitched. So it's Pat Dobson, the 20-game right-hander, the 4th of the Baltimore 20-game winners against Luke Walker, the left-hander of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Orioles leading 2-1 in this historic night game, and the Pirates trying to catch up. Now for the Baltimore Orioles. And remember, they will be facing a left-hander, and thus their lineup is different from the lineups of the first 3 games. Leading off and making his first start, playing in center field, Paul Blair, who a year ago had the highest batting average of any man in that Cincinnati-Baltimore World Series. Batting second up from his position near the bottom of the batting order, playing shortstop, Mark Belanger. Batting third, Merv Rettenmund, tonight playing left field. Merv has played center, some in right, now is in left. Frank Robinson bats cleanup and will be in right field. And Robinson has 7 hits in 12 World Series at bats. Brooks Robinson comes up to the number 5 spot, playing, of course, at third base. Boog fouled some question about Boog because of that bad hand of his. Will play tonight at first base and bat 6. As the Pirates now take the field. Dave Johnson bats 7th, will be at second base. Andy Etchebarren, the catcher, making his first appearance in this World Series. And Pat Dobson, the pitcher. For the Pirates, who have just taken the field, Dave Cash will lead it off and play second base. Rich Hefner, not in the lineup yesterday against the left-hander Cuellar with a sore foot and pouting about not playing, is back to play third base tonight. Roberto Clemente having a great series. 5 for 13. He has hit in every World Series game he's ever played in, and this is his 11th tonight. Will be in right field. Willie Stargell with only 1 hit and no home run since the championships began at the end of the regular season will bat cleanup and will be in left field. Al Oliver in center field. Bob Robertson, who hit that 3-run homer yesterday at first base. Manny Sanguillén, the catcher. Gene Alley, doubtful if he can play. Jackie Hernandez will be at shortstop tonight. And 10-game winner Luke Walker, a left-hander, will be the pitcher. And now, before setting the defense, we pause 10 seconds for station identification.
This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
AFRTS in the Canal Zone. This is the Southern Command Radio Network, 790 and 1420 on your dial.
With Bill O'Donnell, this is Jim Simpson back in Pittsburgh. Robertson at first, Cash at second, Hernandez at short, Hefner at third as Walker warms up. Stargell out in left, Oliver in center, Clemente in right, Sanguillén taking the warm-ups of 10-game winner Luke Walker. Behind the plate tonight, umpiring Ed Vargo. Jim Odom down at first base, John Kibler at second, Nestor Shylock at third base. Along the left field line will be Ed Sudol, and along the right field line, John Rice. And Paul Blair, making his first series start of 1971, steps into the batter's box, and here is Bill O'Donnell.
Thank you, Jim Simpson, and good evening, everybody. Luke Walker, the Pirate 28-year-old left-hander. He's a Texan out of New Boston, Texas. Luke Walker, 6 feet 290 pounds. During the campaign for the Pirates in regular season play, worked in 23 starts, 28 games overall, 110, lost 8, and here we go now with the start of Game 4 of the 1971 World Series. A strike to the knees of Blair, and that's how Walker and the Pirates start off against Blair in Baltimore in the top of the first inning. Blair has been to the plate once in this series with a base hit. And during the American League campaign against American League pitching, Blair batted at .262, 10 homers, and 44 runs batted in. Blair's forte and his real strength is with the glove in center field. He'll be followed by Belanger and Rettenmund here in the top of the first inning. Walker, the tall southpaw for the Pirates from the third base side of the rubber. He's going to wind and deal Blair right now, the 0-1. He's outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. What we are looking for primarily from Luke Walker tonight, as will Baltimore batters, will be what they say is an outstanding Luke Walker curveball. His 1-1 fire. Here it is to Blair. Swings. He doesn't get it. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Blair was fed shoulder high by Walker. Now get this straight. Walker does not have the outstanding fastball, the great smoke. But when he throws the fastball, it moves quite a bit. His big pitch, his out pitch, is supposed to be the curveball. He's ahead of Blair, 1-2. He's out in the dirt, and he's way outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now, speaking of Walker right there, being in the dirt, the Pirate catcher, Manny Sanguillén, lays back of the plate and crouches down lower, catching Luke Walker than anybody else on this Pirate pitching staff, and for good reason. Because Walker throws primarily breaking pitches, he will throw a lot of dirt deliveries. So Sanguillén wants to get as low in his crouch as he possibly can. Walker is 2 balls and 2 strikes against leadoff man Blair. He delivers. And there's a foul off the end of the bat as Blair came reaching for the outside delivery. In the 1970 5-game World Series against Cincinnati, Blair carried the highest batting average in that series, .474. He's fighting off Walker right now, 2 balls and 2 strikes against an outfield shading left against his right-hand whips. The left-hander Walker, 2-2. Here's a foul on the ground, chopped back of the plate. So Blair and Walker keep dueling now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Backing Walker defensively in the Buck infield is Hefner at third, Hernandez at short, and he's cut to that hole. Cash is at second, Robertson is at first base, and Robertson, by the way, is extremely wide of the line at first base and back about halfway. Now the 2-2 by the winding Walker to Blair. Breaking ball line to left field. That'll be a Blair base hit, being run down by Stargell in the alley and also by Oliver, and Oliver plays it in the alley in left center. So Blair, at the moment now, has a perfect World Series. He is 2 for 2 and gives Baltimore the quick start against Walker in the top of the first inning. A base knock hammered to left center by Blair. He'll be patrolled at first base against Robertson. And the Orioles shortstop coming on now, Mark Belanger. He is 2 for 10 in the World Series. Against the American League this year, batted .266. Walker to the set, pauses and delivers a ground ball to the right of second base. Cash backhands it, throws it by Hernandez, and everybody is safe. Now Cash had the tough play. He was to the first base side of second. He reached backhanded for the ground ball, off balance, tried to flip it over to Hernandez. It went by Hernandez. Blair safe at second. Belanger's aboard safely at first base. A base hit to the infield, given to Belanger. So, 2 Baltimore runners aboard. Blair anchored at second. Belanger occupies first. And here's Merv Rettenmund. Rettenmund in the World Series is 3 for 13, including a home run, and the Pirate bullpen is active immediately in the very first inning. Rettenmund, the top Oriole batter in 1971, takes low from Luke Walker. It's 1 ball and no strikes. So the Orioles have batted just 2 men against Walker, and the Pirate bullpen is active already with a right-hander. It's Bruce Keeson. Ball 1, no strikes to Rettenmund. 2 runners lead, and there's nobody out. A strike, a fastball at the knees of Rettenmund. Rettenmund defensively tonight will be Baltimore's left fielder. Blair with the leadoff base smash to left center is now at second. Belanger, who had the infield base hit to the right of second base, is at first base. He's got the extra long lead with first baseman Robertson playing back and well off the foul line. Hernandez trying to bluff Blair to second. Here is a bunt foul off to the right of home plate. So Rettenmund on that pitch by Walker was up there to try to advance. Blair to third and Belanger possibly to second. Rettenmund now goes down to Walker at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Frank Robinson will be the next Baltimore batter. Walker started 23 ball games for Danny Murtaugh this year, appeared 5 times in relief, had only 4 complete games, including a pair of shutouts. He looks back to Blair's lead, delivers to the plate. Here's a ground chopper down the first base side. The runners advance, but the ball is foul. Halfway down the first base foul line, chopped foul by Rettenmund. So he and Walker stay at 1 ball and 2 strikes. A little bit of irony in a way, as far as pitching is concerned, to tonight's 4th game of the World Series. Neither Pittsburgh starter Luke Walker, nor Baltimore starter, the right-hander Pat Dobson, neither one, Walker nor Dobson, appeared in the National League nor the American League's Championship Series. But they are Game 4 starters tonight, and Walker's in hot water immediately here in the top of the first inning. Again to Rettenmund. 1-2. A ground ball to the hole at short. Backhanded by Hernandez on the outfield grass. Throws late to second base, and everybody is safe. On the base hit, deep to the hole at short. It was taken by Hernandez on the outfield carpet, on the rim of the carpet. He threw to second base, late to get Belanger as Blair motored to third, and Rettenmund is safe at first base. So 3 hits, 2 of the technically of the infield variety. Back-to-backers by Belanger and Rettenmund. It's got Blair third, Belanger second, Rettenmund first. Nobody is out, and Frank Robinson, who thus far has picked off 7 base hits in this series, including 2 homers. Frank Robinson now to test Luke Walker. Bases jammed. And Walker could not be any more on the ropes than he is right now to begin Game 4 of the series. Walker pauses and checks the 3 runners. Comes to Frank Robinson, low and outside. Sanguillén now a couple of times here against the first 4 batters has been forced to jump down to both knees to protect outside low pitches or dirt deliveries by Walker. Again repeating, Keeson, a right-hander, warming in the Buck bullpen. The 1-0. Frank Robinson takes outside. The ball gets away from Sanguillén. Blair is coming home to score, and the other two runners advance. The ball was down and low, got right by Sanguillén, came off his shin guard and rolled to the Oriole dugout, and Blair has scored the first run now of this fourth World Series game. Charged Sanguillén with a pass ball that hit in the dirt and then seemed to come off the shin guard and carry him way off to his left. On the pass ball by Sanguillén. Belanger goes to third, Rettenmund to second, and Frank Robinson will now be intentionally walked. There's the third ball outside. It's 3 balls and no strikes, and there is the fourth live one. So the bases stay loaded as Baltimore has a 1-0 lead on the combination of Blair, Belanger, and Rettenmund base smashes off Walker, plus a pass ball charged to Sanguillén on a Walker pitch to Frank Robinson. So the first 4 Baltimore runners have all reached. It's 1-0, the Baltimore lead, and Brooks Robinson is up with the bases loaded. Robinson is 5 for 10 in series play. He takes low and away, ball 1. Belanger at third, Rettenmund off second. Frank Robinson a long lead at first base with Robertson behind the lead and off the line. Brooks Robinson, a fly ball to center field. It's not hit deep. Tagging at third base is Belanger. Oliver's there in shallow center now. Belanger's coming home. The throw is home. The slide. Belanger is safe and beats the throw home by Oliver. Oliver, if anything, you might call him in shallow center field, but Belanger beat the toss home by the Pirates center fielder to put Baltimore on top 2-0. At the same time, with the throw home, the other two runners advance. Rettenmund gallops from second to third. Frank Robinson has motored now with 1 out from first to second. Do not charge Brooks Robinson with a time at bat. Give Brooks Robinson a run batted in. 2-0 Baltimore, and that's the first out in the top of the first inning. First base is open. Walker starts to double check now his Pirate defense, which has the shortstop Hernandez back of the bag at second. Runners second and third, 1 out, 2 runs all. The pitch is inside to the fist of Powell. Powell, like the power man of the Pirates, namely Willie Stargell, has not had the successful hit series. Powell is 1 for 12. Rettenmund third, Frank Robinson second. On the 1-0, Powell takes low and tight under the knees. So Walker with just all kinds of trouble here in the first inning, and it keeps on building against Walker and the Pirates. The Pirate outfield against Powell is playing him slightly over to right field. Against the right-hander, they might be playing Powell more to pull, but against the curve-balling Walker, they're not playing quite as much to pull to right field. Rettenmund at third, Frank Robinson second. Breaking ball hit high, deeper to center. Oliver going back. Oliver's at the warning track. 2 strides from the bench, makes the catch. Rettenmund tags at third. He'll come out to score. Frank Robinson to third is in safely. So 2 sacrifice flies have brought Baltimore runs 2 and 3 here in the top of the first inning. It is Powell's first run batted in this series. With Frank Robinson, the only runner now, camped at third. The top lieutenant of manager Danny Murtaugh, Bill Verdon, is walking to the mound with the next batter due, Dave Johnson. And Verdon, Murtaugh, and the Pirates are going to make a move, perhaps to Bruce Keeson. Here in the first inning, Blair stroked a base hit to left center. Belanger had an infield base hit to the right of second base. Rettenmund had a base hit to the hole at short. Then on a pass ball, with Frank Robinson up charged to Sanguillén, Blair scored to make it 1-0. Frank Robinson was intentionally walked to load him up. Brooks Robinson sent a sacrifice fly to medium center, plating Belanger with run 2, and now Powell to deep center to the warning track, plating run 3. Right now we pause 30 seconds for station identification.
This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
At 790 and 1420 in the Canal Zone, this is the Southern Command Radio Network, an affiliate of the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
Top half of the first inning is Baltimore really taking advantage, and this is one thing that perhaps the Orioles will have to contend with Pat Thompson when he pitches against Pittsburgh, because both Thompson and Walker have not pitched since the end of the regular season.
Along with Bill O'Donnell, this is Jim Simpson back at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh. The hand you hear is for Luke Walker, the retired two-man that has given up 3 base hits and 3 runs and walked 1 man intentionally. 2 were out in the first inning. And if you've been with us throughout the World Series, you probably remember that in the first 3 games, the Orioles went down in order, 1, 2, 3. But here in this first night game in the history of the World Series, the 4th game of the 1971 series, the Orioles have struck for 3 runs against the Pirates. Bruce Keeson, the youngster on the mound, drops down sidearm a lot, very tough on the right-handed batter. And, of course, only Boog Powell in the Orioles is a left-hander among the present lineup. Keeson is 6'4", only weighs 178, 21 years old, born, lives in Pasco, Washington. And you probably also heard the story by now that on Sunday night, Bruce Keeson expects to get married and will get married. But if this series goes 7 games, and of course it would wind up in Baltimore, they may have to delay that wedding. They won't until the next day, but just put it off for an hour or so. Keeson did appear in Monday's game down in Baltimore, pitched to 2 batters and had no control whatsoever, walked the only 2 men he faced, and was taken out for still another relief pitcher. He comes in now with Frank Robinson over at third base, 2 men out, 3 runs in, and Davey Johnson, who is 3 for 12 on the series, a right-handed batter ready to step in. So we call it again, Bill O'Donnell.
All right, Jim, a little bit about Keeson, who I'm sure when the 1971 baseball season began, I'm sure did not think that here in October he would see in a World Series, because when the 1971 season began, Keeson was with the Pirates Farm Club at Charleston. He won 10, lost 1, and was called up in mid-season. Baltimore leads 3-0. Top of the first inning, Dave Johnson is up. He hits a ground ball wide at third to the glove of Hebner. Hebner goes to Robertson for the 3rd out in the top of the first inning. Baltimore scores 3 runs. So in the middle of the first inning of the 4th World Series game, it is Baltimore 3 with Pittsburgh coming to bat. Okay, the Pirates coming up with Cash, Hebner, and Clemente to see what they can do, down 3-0. You can imagine what went through the minds of the New York Yankees back on October 2nd, 1958, when the Milwaukee Braves scored 7 times against them in the first inning to set a World Series record for the most runs scored by a club in the first inning of a World Series ball game. The most runs ever scored in 1 inning in the World Series was 10 back in 1929, when Philadelphia, then in the American League, scored 10 runs against Chicago of the National League. But nonetheless, regardless of how many runs are scored, when they come in the first inning, especially in the top of the first inning, well, that puts their home team in a real bucket, so to speak. And that's the situation right now for Pittsburgh, who is down 2-1 in this World Series and is trying to pick up some ground on Baltimore right at their home stadium at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh. Okay, let's get back to Pittsburgh. And now here again is Jim Simpson of NBC.
Back in Pittsburgh, where Bruce Keeson on 1 pitch got Davey Johnson to ground to Hebner third to get the Pirates out of the first inning. One thing perhaps we did not pass on to you is the fact that it was Keeson who came on to relieve Steve Blass in the last game of the National League Championships, was credited with the victory and won it. Well, Pat Dobson takes the mound now for the Orioles, and he takes it with a 3-run lead. And checking his earned run average, Dobson has allowed less than 2 runs per ball game. So stakes a pretty good lead. He'll face Cash, Hebner, and Clemente here in the Pirate first. Cash steps in. Who's Bill?
All right, Jim, we found out, and very promptly in the top of the first inning, what a lack of work meant to a Pirate pitcher, namely Luke Walker, who is no longer around. And let's see how Pat Dobson fared. His last start, the 24th of September, when he won his 20th victory of the year, and that was a shutout against the Indians. He faces Dave Cash in the Pirate first inning, and the right-hand batting Pirate second baseman takes outside, ball 1. Dobson, a 20-game winner in 37 starts, had 18 complete games. Right-hander Dobson, the right hand swings at Cash. Strike is poured into Cash's knees. Dave Cash is 2 for 13 in this World Series against National League pitching, batted .289. Dobson, who is about to go to his rocking motion, and then suddenly Cash moved out of the batter's box, so Ed Vargo, the plate boss, called time. Now Vargo tells Dobson to go back to work. 1-1. He's high, 2 balls and 1 strike. Dobson and the rookie sensation of the Oakland Ball Club, Vida Blue. Dobson and Blue, the only 2 American League pitchers to beat every club in that league this year. He's low now to Cash. 3 balls and 1 strike. Hefner to follow, and then Clemente. Baltimore is leading 3-0 in the bottom of the first inning, and Cash is the Bucco leadoff man. The winding Dobson, 3-1. That's ball 4. Well, Baltimore got its leadoff man aboard. Blair with a base hit. Cash gets the Pirates as the leadoff man aboard the first base with a walk on a 3-1 delivery by Dobson. Here is Richie Hefner, the power swinging, left-hand batting Pirates third baseman. Hefner already has 1 home run in this World Series, and that was at the expense of Jim Palmer in Game 2 of the series in Baltimore. Hefner taking high and away, ball 1. Hefner's home run in Game 2 is his only hit in the series. Focusing our attention to first base, Powell is against the lead of Cash. Brooks Robinson extremely wide of third against the left-hand batting Hefner. And the outfield plays Hefner to pull, right to right. 1-0. Here's a high pop-up towards the shortstop. Belanger drifting to the outfield carpet. Belanger is there. He's got it measured. And Belanger makes the put-out. So Hefner is cut down. And now it will be Roberto Clemente against Dobson. Cash at first base with 1 out. Clemente's had the good bat all through this series. He hasn't had the long ball bat, but he's picked up 5 hits in 13 trips. And coming into the 4th game of this World Series, he has a little private World Series string going. Clemente has hit safely in 10 World Series games. Clemente stroked an average of .341 against National League pitching. Cash leading at first, 1 gone. The breaking ball snaps to the knees for strike 1 of Clemente, and Dobson kept it to the outside edge of the plate. Belanger, the shortstop, strongly shades his left side. Clemente is played into right field by the Baltimore outfield of Rettenmund, Blair, and Frank Robinson. Dobson checking Etchebarren's wig wagon, who sets the outside target. Way outside, and Etchebarren has to backhand it above the dirt. 1 ball and 1 strike to Roberto Clemente. Sometime during the 1972 season, Clemente will join a great list of Major League greats of the past who have 3,000 or more career base hits. He finished off 1971 with better than 2,800 career base hits. Cash at first base with 1 out. On the 1-1, Clemente takes an off-speed curve for strike 2. Dobson did string pulling and had Clemente off balance. Clemente will be followed by the power-swinging Willie Stargell. It's Baltimore 3, Pittsburgh nothing in the Pirate half of the first inning. Dobson slowing down a bit and concentrating as hard as he can against the quick swings of Clemente. 1-2 is foul, back to the screen. So the count rides between Dobson and Roberto Clemente at 1 ball and 2 strikes. The doors of success really opened up in 1971 for Pat Dobson. Before becoming a National Leaguer for just 1 season in 1970 at San Diego, he had been primarily a reliever at Detroit. Came over to the National League. He won 14 games with San Diego, lost 15, came back to the American League, and won 20. 1-2 to Roberto Clemente. The delivery by Dobson is way outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Baltimore leads 3-0 with the Pirates batting in the bottom of the first inning. Dobson, like every National League pitcher during the regular season, concentrating hard against Clemente. 2-2ing him. Breaking ball, he swings and he strikes out. So Dobson hangs up his first strikeout. He gets rid of the always dangerous Clemente. Cash remains at first with 2 gone now, and here's Willie Stargell. The Pirates feel that through the rest of this World Series, they must get base hits and naturally run. And from a power standpoint, they are still hopefully leaning on Willie Stargell, who has been shut off so far with only 1 base hit. 2 gone, a runner aboard, and Dobson pitches outside to Stargell. Despite the fact that Stargell has only 1 base hit in 7 trips, he has been a base runner quite a few times because he has picked up 6 walks in 3 previous games.
He gives that circular whip of the bat, flicking it out towards Dobson's look-at-you Barron. Dobson now will look to cash his lead at first base. Comes in 1-0. Off-speed curve is a strike. He kept it as he slid off the outside corner to the knees of the gazing Stargell. Dobson just cut down, striking out Clemente for the second out here in the bottom of the first inning. Baltimore got rid of Luke Walker, scored 3 runs to go ahead. Dobson's 1-1. Breaking ball, line, right field, base hit. The second base Cash. He's going to third. The ball is by Frank Robinson. Coming off the wall. Cash is being waved home. The Pirates have their first run, and Stargell has a two-bagger to right center. It went between Blair and Frank Robinson in the right center alley. A hammering liner by Stargell. It rolled on the warning track, then rolled off the wall. Blair and Frank Robinson had a little trouble picking it up. So Stargell really gets his first solid wallop of this ball game. Frank Robinson plays the bounce carom off the wall, and then Blair beside him picked it up, and by the time all that happened, Cash had romped home all the way from first. So it's Baltimore 3, Pittsburgh 1. Stargell at second, and Al Oliver's up. He takes a breaking ball into his shoes, ball 1. With his first run batted in this World Series after 125 RBIs in the regular season. Orioles 3, Pirates 1, bottom of the first inning. Dobson's 1-0 deal. Oliver cuts and he doesn't get it. That snake breaking ball by Dobson to the knees of the swinging left-hand batting Oliver. Oliver is 1 for 10 in this series. He was .282 in the National League season with 14 home runs. Stargell escapes off second base with a good lead. Oliver is tossed outside, way outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. We commented a couple of moments ago about Dobson's last start back on the 24th of September in Cleveland when he blanked the Indians. He did pitch in relief 4 days later. 2-1. Oliver strokes the ground foul back of the plate. So it's 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, a 2-run difference between these two fine clubs, 3-1 Baltimore lead, and the Buccos have Stargell anchored at second base. Oliver choking the bat just a little bit off the knob. The 2-2 to the left-hand swinger, off the outside corner for a full count. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Oliver. A year ago, Danny Murtaugh played Oliver at first base, left field, and right field. This year, he had Oliver patrol center field and also play first base defensively. Oliver slightly closing his stance and off the plate. 3-2. Here's a foul. Back of the plate again, snapping off the bat of Oliver. So a riding count now between the struggling Dobson to Oliver at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Dobson struggled to begin the bottom of the first inning, losing Cash on 3-1, then made Hebner pop to short, then struck out the dangerous Clemente, gave up a run-scoring double to Stargell. 3-2, foul, straight back. So Oliver just doesn't have a pitch in his happy zone right now. He's spoiling pitches by Dobson. And what Dobson has been doing, both with breaking balls and also with fastballs to Oliver, he's moving everything around. He's pitched him to his knees and jammed him tight. He's also pitched him up to his letters and kept the ball on occasion outside. Again, we repeat, Oliver does not guard the plate tightly. The Pirates have Stargell leading again at second base with the outfield shading right. 3-2. A foul is on the ground to the Oriole dugout on the third base side. This time, Oliver was jammed right into his hand. Count still riding at 3 balls and 2 strikes to Oliver. Dobson truly had one of the great winning streaks in both leagues this year. He had a 12-game victory streak beginning in early June. 3-2, breaking ball, line, foul, deep to right, just outside the Pirate bullpen in the right field corner. Oliver got out in front of a breaking ball, again set to his hand. So the strong pattern, the steady pattern at least, by Dobson to Oliver so far has been to jam him into his hand. Count stays, 3 balls and 2 strikes. And there's Stargell with a short lead off second base. Belanger, the shortstop, directly back to Willie's lead.
Here's Dobson now just breaking contact with that rubber and forcing Stargell a step closer to second. Big Willie takes his lead again. Dobson's pause. 3-2 pitch. Oliver hits a pop line to shallow center. On comes Blair, still coming. He's in front of him for base hit. And then Dobson beyond it. Stargell has scored. Oliver goes to second base with a double, and it's a 3-2 ball game. A looping pop fly into shallow center. It hit in front of Blair, and then on his Spartan turf outfield, bounced high and over Blair's head. The pitch to Oliver was fed to the inside corner. He popped it up. Belanger rushed back. It was too far for him. It was too shallow for Blair. Took a high hop, bounced over his left shoulder behind his head. He raced back about 15 feet, and while all that happened, scoring from second base was Stargell. Baltimore's bullpen now gets active with a left-hander. That's Grant Jackson heating up, and Earl Weaver has gone to the mound. Weaver's surrounded by second baseman Johnson, by pitcher Dobson, and by catcher Etchebarren. Well, joining Jackson, the Baltimore bullpen, now is right-hander Dave Leonard, and they are working very rapidly. A two-out Pirate rally to score 2 runs. The scoring on Oliver's looping top fly to center field, the 2-bagger, bouncing high on the Spartan turfed outfield, the carpeted outfield, over Blair's head. Back-to-back 2-baggers by Stargell, by Oliver, have driven over 2 runs. They've scored Stargell and Cash, and here's long ball swinging Bob Robertson, with Oliver off second base. In the dirt, saved by Etchebarren, bouncing around to the outside part of the plate to both knees. It's Baltimore 3, Pittsburgh 2 in a wild, big scoring start in the first inning. The stretching Dobson looks back to second, delivering 1-0. He snaps it outside low. 2 balls and no strikes to Robertson. Robertson has only 1 hit in this series, but that was a key blow yesterday, a 3-run homer. He had 26 home runs in the regular campaign. Waiting 2-0. Robertson fouls it right to the box to the left of home plate. 2 balls and 1 strike to long ball conscious Bob Robertson. Robertson, the 6th Pirate, to bat here in the bottom of the first inning against Dobson. Baltimore batted 6 men against Luke Walker and then knocked him out before Keeson came on to get Johnson, the 7th man in the order, for the final out. Baltimore 3, Pittsburgh 2. And Dobson still trying to pull out of the corner here in the Pirate first inning. Oliver's at second base. The count to Bob Robertson, 2 balls and 1 strike with 2 away. Dobson checking Etchebarren. His look back to Oliver's lead. Good lead off second. Swing! And a miss by the uppercutting Robertson. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The deep Baltimore outfielder is Rettenmund in left. Now Robertson, although he pulls the ball, proved yesterday and proved conclusively that he just doesn't have pulling power. He has opposite field power. 2-2 coming in. Robertson hits a capper to the right of the mound, fielded by Dobson. Underhand toss in time to Powell for the 3rd out of a 2-run Pirate first inning. At the end of 1 inning of play in Game 4 of the World Series, Baltimore 3, Pittsburgh 2. Following Game 3 of the World Series, Pirates pitcher Steve Blair says he was totally confused on how to pitch to the defending champion Baltimore Orioles. He said during the first 2 games I watched on the television monitor back in the dressing room. He says the picture from back of the plate gives you a better idea of how to pitch to the batters. But he says the 2 games were entirely different. He said they showed all that power in the first game, then they hit singles all over the place in the second game. And he says I was kind of confused about all that. Blass also admitted that despite extensive scouting reports on how to pitch to the Baltimore hitters, he came up with ideas of his own, making notes of the games seen on the TV monitor. However, he made one little mistake. He says he forgot and left all that material back in Baltimore.
Luke Walker had not started since September the 22nd and lasted through 2 out in the first inning and was charged with 3 runs before Bruce Keeson came on to get Davy Johnson with 1 pitch. Now, Dobson had not started since September the 24th, and he walked the first man he faced. At great success after getting Hebner on a pop-up. He struck out Clemente on a curveball and then threw a curveball to Stargell, who wrapped a double to right to score cash. And, of course, Oliver's single probably would have scored Stargell anyway. But when it bounced over the head of Paul Blair, it went for a double. So it's 3-2 as we go to the top of the second inning. And Bruce Kieson, the man who came in relief last Wednesday in the final game of the National League Championship playoffs, the 21-year-older from Pasco, Washington, to be married this Sunday night, is on the mound now for his first real work. And he'll be facing Andy Etchebarren, Pat Dobson, and then back to the top of the batting order. Etchebarren, up for the first time in the 1971 World Series, steps in, and here again is Bill O'Donnell.
All right, Jim, Bruce, Eugene Kieson against Andy Etchebarren, Pat Dobson, and the top of the Baltimore order, Paul Blair, as we head to the top of the second inning. This will be Andy Etchebarren's first plate appearance in this 1971 World Series. But naturally, World Series play is nothing new to Etchebarren because as a rookie, back in 1966, it was Etchebarren who caught all 4 games against the Los Angeles Dodgers in the Baltimore 4-game sweep. Right-hander Kieson delivers. Sidearm slider is outside. Kieson is strictly a sidearmer, likes to challenge batters. He throws the slider and the sinker. He's facing Etchebarren with his 1-0 delivery. Fastball bounced to the right side, picked up by Cash, the second baseman, and he throws out Etchebarren. A hot smash right at second baseman Cash to retire Etchebarren. So in relief now of the starter, Luke Walker, Kieson has retired the first too many spades. Johnson to wrap up the top of the first inning, and now Etchebarren to start off the top of the second. Now to Baltimore's pitcher, Pat Dobson. In the American League season, Dobson's batting average was .110. He'll be followed by the head of the order, Paul Blair. Kieson's first pitch. He breaks it off, strike one called, outside corner. Kieson just fed Dobson his good-looking slider. Kieson winds, 0-1. Change breaking ball, cut out and missed. He did string pulling that time against the cuts of Dobson. No balls and 2 strikes. Here's a young fellow and what a success story that Kieson has. He's only been in organized ball since 1968. This is his first year in the majors. Breaking ball, low outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Dobson. The plate umpire in Game 4 is Ed Vargo. The rest of the umpiring crew, Jim Odom, John Kibler, Nestor Shylock, Ed Sudol, and John Rice. Dobson fouls it off the shin guard now of the plate umpire, Ed Vargo. And we've got a staying count of 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kieson pitched at Bradenton in 1968, at Geneva in 1969, both at Salem and Waterbury a year ago in 1970. Had those 10 wins with the Charleston club to start the International League season before coming to the Pirates in midseason. 1-2, strike 3, a breaking ball called on the inside corner, and Dobson's knee. Well, Kieson has done so far what Danny Murtaugh, Top Lieutenant Bill Verdon had hoped for, retire 3 men in a row, and also get out of that first inning jam when Baltimore went ahead 3-0. It is now 3-2 in the top of the second inning, and here's Blair, who began the Oriole first inning rally. He hammered a base hit to left center and scored Baltimore's run. Low to Blair. 1 ball and no strikes. Blair at the dish with 2 away in the top of the second inning. As Blair gets on, Kieson would have to face Mark Belanger. Here's a foul off the thumbs of Blair to the right of home plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. Baltimore drilled out Walker with 3 base hits, a walk, and 2 sacrifice flies to go ahead 3-0. And the Pirates jumped right back against Dobson to come within a run. As Kieson began to wind, Blair decided he wanted time, and Ed Vargo hurriedly called time to slow down and stop Kieson. Now the 1-1 pitch. Is a strike with a fastball. It was belt high to Blair on the inside corner. So Kieson stays ahead of Baltimore batters. He's jumped ahead of Blair. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2 away, bases clean, top of the second inning. All right, the 1-2 by Kieson. Way outside, as a matter of fact, past Sanguillén's backhanded stab. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Blair.
Blair's first World Series was back in 1966. In that World Series, Blair had but one base hit, and that came in Game 3 of that series, a home run to provide Baltimore with a 1-0 win over the Dodgers. 2-2. Here's a looping fly ball back into shallow right center. On comes Clemente. On comes Oliver. They can't get to it. It bounces by Clemente. Here's Blair headed for 2. Big turn. He'll stay at second base. So Blair on that Martin turf outfield looped the fly ball into right center. Oliver rushed from center. Clemente rushed from right, and it bounced over Clemente's head. Blair is on a 3-for-3 hit there in World Series play. He had 1-for-1 coming in tonight. He now has a single and a 2-bagger within the first 2 innings. Blair is at second base with 2 down, and Belanger is up. Belanger stroked the ground ball to the right of second base to pick up an infield base hit in the first inning. He scored Baltimore's second run last inning. Hit number 1 off Keeson. Hit number 4 off Pittsburgh pitching. Slider strike, inside corner to Belanger. Blair with a 2-out 2-bagger, anchored at second base, and he'll start to scratch off his lead. Clemente moving around in right field, not playing Belanger too deep. Keeson sets to the belt, looks back to second. In he comes, 0-1. Strike, fastball, outside corner. So he's moved the ball around on Belanger to the inside corner, and now he waves it to the outside corner. Belanger down on a 2-strike count with Rettenmund in the on-deck area. Blair looking behind him to shortstop Hernandez with his lead at second base. Belanger 0-2. Keeson delivers. Here's a pop-up to the right side of the Pirate infield. Robertson, the first baseman, is there, and there's the third out. No runs, 1 hit, and Oriole runner left at second base with Blair. At the end of an inning and 1/2, Baltimore 3, Pittsburgh 2.
Danny Murtaugh comes from the Buster Keaton school. Most of the things he does, it's deadpan, little emotion, or sometimes none at all. Win, lose, or draw, or missed sign, sooner or later, Danny Murtaugh is going to find that comfortable rocking chair of his in the manager's office of the Pittsburgh Pirates clubhouse and just let the rest of the world go by and just rock. After each World Series game, they have a meeting in the clubhouse or in a room near the clubhouse to discuss with the managers or other key players about the ball game. And during the question and answer period after Game 3 of the World Series, one of the writers just happened to ask the question, Danny, did you ever think about giving Bob Robertson the bunt sign? And that was when he came up with Clemente on second and Willie Stargell on first with nobody out, and Pittsburgh leading 2-1 the 7th inning. Murtaugh didn't even change the expression. Well, as a matter of fact, it did give him the bunt sign. Robbie just blew it. There was a shocked pause in the crowd of 50, and that was the big story of the whole ball game, a homer and a missed sign.
Back at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh, Jim Simpson with Bill O'Donnell. It's 3-2 Baltimore as we go to the last of the second inning in this first night game in World Series history. In case you've forgotten the first night game in Major League history, May 24th, 1935, back in Cincinnati. And now as Roberto Clemente steps in, here's this.
Jim, the Pirates' bottom of the second inning begins with the 7th man in the order, the right-hand swinging buck catcher Manny Sanguillén. Sanguillén, Hernandez, and Walker against Baltimore right-hander curveballing Pat Dobson. Swinging a ground ball to third, backing up Brooks Robinson, smothers it, and throws out Sanguillén. So one pitch cuts down Sanguillén. He's back to the Pirate dugout, and now the shortstop, Jackie Hernandez. Hernandez has appeared 6 times at the plate in this series with 1 base hit. Not known for power, not known even for extra base power, and he's finished off 1971 batting at .206. Dobson with 1 away, deals the right-hand swinging Hernandez a strike. He broke it off to the outside corner at Hernandez's knees. Bruce Keeson, the Pirate relief pitcher, will be the next batter. Defensively, the Baltimore infield has Mr. Vacuum Cleaner, Brooks Robinson at third, Belanger at short, Dave Johnson at second, Boog, Powell at first, Merv Rettenmund left, Paul Blair center, and Frank Robinson over towards right field against Hernandez. Hernandez will drive the ball to the opposite field. The 0-1 delivery. Dobson is outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Dobson had 4 shutouts among his 20 victories against Cleveland, twice, Washington, and Kansas City. 1-1. Snapped down the corner. A strike call. 1 ball and 2 strikes. In early June, I would think that Dobson had little hopes of a 20 victory year, because in early June, Dobson had won only 3 games against 4 defeats. He did win 20, lost only 8. He's ahead of Hernandez with 1 out on the bases empty, 1-2. Low, 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's Baltimore 3, Pittsburgh 2 in the Pirates half of the second inning. Baltimore 3 runs on 4 hits, and Pittsburgh 2 runs on 2 hits. 2-2er. Breaking ball, slapped down toward third, and trickling foul halfway down the foul line. So Hernandez, who is motoring down the first base foul line, will return to home plate. While we wait now on Hernandez to come back to the batter's box on the third base side of the plate, Dobson, when he was at San Diego last year, winning 14 and dropping 15 for the Padres, had 2 decisions against this Pittsburgh ball club. 1-1. He lost 1. And as a matter of fact, his loss was against his opposing starter tonight, no longer around, Luke Walker. Walker and the Pirates beat him a year ago 10-1. He beat the Pirates 2-1 later on. His next delivery, line, left center field, over comes Blair, and he makes the belt-high catch to retire Hernandez. He lined a shot into left center, but Blair, who's known for great outfield speed, just galloped over and galloped to the line drive and pulled it in. Hernandez becomes out number 2, and now the relief pitcher, Bruce Keeson, to the plate. Keeson, after being called up from Charleston, made 31 plate appearances with 2 base hits for the Pirates. He bats right-handed and hits a foul down the first base side, drifting towards the first base box seats and out of play. Strike 1 to the late swings of Keeson. 2 gone in the Pirates' second inning. They trail by a run, 3-2 to Dobson in Baltimore. Dobson extending the arms, concentrating on the side. He delivers 0-1. Strike, outside corner. He snapped at that corner again with a breaking ball. So he moves rapidly ahead of Keeson, 0-2. Keeson spreads the feet right to the front of the box. The 0-2 whipped in. Low, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Baltimore management naturally feels, since Dobson won 20, that they had a great off-season deal with San Diego when they picked up Dobson plus Dukes. The 1-2 delivery. Low, 2 balls, 2 strikes to Keeson. 2 away. And the 2-2er. Strike 3, a fastball belt high poured right down the groove to the admiring Keeson. And Dobson, who had a shaky first inning, has a strong second inning. At the end of 2 innings of play, Baltimore 3, Pittsburgh 2.
We were talking the last half inning how the key issue of that entire third World Series game was brought up just by chance, and that was the fact that one of the writers asked Danny Murtaugh, just happened to ask him, did you ever think about giving Robertson the bunt sign? And in that tactical situation, it would have been the logical thing to do, and Murtaugh just matter-of-factly said, well, as a matter of fact, I did give him the bunt sign. There was a shocked pause from among the 50 or so media people in the room, and somebody said, you got to be serious about that. He said, yes, I am. He says, that's it. We gave him the bunt sign. He simply missed it. Somebody said, well, are you going to fine him? And then Murtaugh thought about that one for a while, and he said, well, I don't think so under those conditions. Somebody says, well, how about giving him a bonus? Murtaugh said, possibly. So then somebody says, did you talk with him about it in the dugout afterward? Murtaugh says, yes, we talked about it a little bit. He said, what'd you say to him? Well, I said, you fouled it up. And he said, I guess you're right, Coach. I guess I did foul it up. Murtaugh answered all those questions, and Robertson waited off to the side to be asked questions, along with Steve Blass, who had limited the Orioles to 3 hits. So it was quite an interesting news conference following Game 3 of the World Series, when it was discovered that a home run was hit on a missed bunt sign to give Pittsburgh a victory in Game 3 of the World Series. Let's pause right now for station identification. This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
AFRTS in the Canal Zone. This is the Southern Command Radio Network, 790 and 1420 in your dial.
Together with Jim Simpson, Bill O'Donnell back with you again here in Pittsburgh at Three River Stadium, and in Baltimore's third, it'll be Merv Rettenmund, Frank Robinson, and Brooks Robinson against right-handed reliever Bruce Keeson. Keeson to Rettenmund. Strike outside corner at the knee. Now, Stargell left is pulled over towards left against Rettenmund. Most of Rettenmund's power is up the middle and to power alleys. Changeup is inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Keeson showed Rettenmund that big off-speed motion, and he went too tight to Rettenmund's knees. 1 ball and 1 strike. Rettenmund had an infield base hit to the hole at short in the first inning and scored a run. Baltimore leads 3-2. 1-1er. Way outside as Rettenmund began to check his swing on a breaking ball. 2 balls and 1 strike. Rettenmund starting off the top of the third on 2-1. He looks at strike 2. It was bent to his knees to the outside edge of the plate. The count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. Rettenmund right now has 4 base hits and 14 World Series trips. The graduate of Ball State against Keeson, 2-2, low and away. Full count now, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Rettenmund ended the regular season strong indeed with a 9-game hit streak. Also on the last road trip had a lot of base hits at Cleveland. 3-2. Here's a chopper over the mound. Mack at second base. The shortstop Hernandez comes his throw in time to Robertson, and Rettenmund retired by a long stride. Now Rettenmund has good speed down the first base side, so the combination of the chopper and deep behind the bag, Hernandez had to hurry his throw to get Rettenmund by a step. 1 gone. Top of the third. Baltimore leads Pittsburgh 3-2, and here's Frank Robinson. He was walked intentionally by starter Luke Walker in the 3-run Baltimore first inning. Sidearm fastball, cut out and missed. It was into the letters of the swinging Frank Robinson. The big day in Frank Robinson's 1971 season. A night in Baltimore, the 19th of September, when he hit his 500th home run. Swings and fouls it off straight back. 0-2. That 500th home run, by the way, back in Baltimore, came as part of a doubleheader. Matter of fact, the first trip to the plate that Frank Robinson made in Game 1, he got number 499. Then in the 9th inning of Game 2, got that magic number 500. He's down to Keeson 0-2. The right-hander lines, delivers. Snaps it in the dirt outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Speaking of home runs, Frank Robinson was Baltimore's home run leader. 28 home runs, 99 runs batted in. He has 8 World Series home runs, including 2 so far in this series. 1 away, bases empty, top of the third. The next pitch, a check swing foul, straight back. So we stay at the ball and 2 strikes between Keeson and Frank Robinson. Frank Robinson's home runs in this series have come at the expense of Steve Blair and Doc Ellis. As a matter of fact, as Blair gave up only 3 base hits yesterday here, Frank Robinson had 2 of those 3 base hits. 1-2. Check swing and strike 3 called by Vargo, the plate umpire. Frank could not check his swing in time, broke the wrist, and strike 3 ripped up by the plate umpire. Keeson has his 2nd strikeout in relief since coming on for starter Walker in the first inning. 2 away, top of the third, here's Brooks Robinson, who stroked a sacrifice fly in the first inning to center, enabling Belanger to score from third base. Off speeder is inside to the knee. 2 away, top of the third. Baltimore does not have a base runner, does lead 3-2. There's a ground foul outside of third. 1 ball and 1 strike to Brooks Robinson. Now, Brooks Robinson has had a good World Series so far, just as he did against Cincinnati in 1970 when he was voted the most valuable player. Right now, he is 5 for 10 with the bat. In the American League Championship Series against Dick Williams Open Ball Club, Brooks Robinson went 4 for 11 with a home run and 2 RBIs. The winding Keeson, 1-1 Brooks Robinson. Strike is gone. So it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. The plus factor about Keeson, the big plus since his first inning relief effort for Walker, is that he has stayed ahead of most Baltimore batters. He just struck out Frank Robinson. He is a ball and 2 strikes to Brooks Robinson. He delivers. Here's a check swing ground ball. Backhanded off the mound by Keeson. Keeson to Robertson to retire Brooks Robinson. And Keeson has a 1-2-3, top of the third. In the middle of the third inning. Baltimore 3, Pittsburgh 2.
Richie Hebner will bat second in this inning for the Pittsburgh Pirates behind leadoff hitter Cash. Hebner was a little bit miffed yesterday about not being in the lineup, as we find out from Ed Engels.
Richie Hebner is miffed. The Pittsburgh Pirates third baseman has hit home runs in each of the last 3 games he's played in. That's 2 National League playoff games and 1 World Series contest. However, Hebner was not in the Pirates starting lineup yesterday. Since the Orioles pitched left-hander Mike Cuellar, it made some sense that the left-hand hitting Hebner sat while right-hand hitting Jose Pagan opened at third base. However, Pirate manager Danny Murtaugh says Hebner did not play in the third World Series game because he was not 100% physically. Not so, retorts Hebner. There was nothing wrong with me, says Hebner. I was all right until I got on the field before the game and found out I had a leg injury only when I was told I had one. It's one of those unsolved mysteries.
Ed Engels of UPI commenting about third baseman Richie Hebner coming up second in this inning for Pittsburgh.
Back in Pittsburgh, we go now to the Pirates' third inning at the top of the batting order, and Cash, Hebner, and Clemente. Got Dobson and the Orioles out in front of Keeson. And the Pirates with the score of 3-2. Dobson in a very rough first inning gave up 2 runs. Got him 3 in a row in the last 2 seconds. Now he's back to the top of the batting order, and Dave Cash is there.
Cash has been up once. He was the leadoff Pirate batter in the bottom of the first inning. He drew a walk on a Dobson 3-1 pitch and then scored the first Pirate run, rushing over on Stargill's hammering 2-bagger to right center. Cash, a right-hand waiver against Dobson. Fastball is low, ball 1. Cash, not known for power, does drill the ball quite a bit to the opposite field, and he is played that way by the right fielder, Frank Robinson. Dobson cranking up, winds and deals 1-0, way outside. Dobson falls behind Cash, 2 balls and no strike. Now Cash will turn and check with the signs of third base coach Frank Ostiak. Now Frank Robinson plays Cash directly into right. Blair plays him into right center. There's a strike at the belt, 2 balls and 1 strike. Cash, Hebner, Clemente in the bottom of the third against Pat Dobson. Dobson in Baltimore leads the Pirates by a score of 3-2. The 2-1 deal by the right-hander Dobson. Outside, he's 3 balls, 1 strike to Cash again, just as he was the first trip in the opening inning. Again a checking look by Cash. To green light or red light flashes from the third base coach Ostiak. 3-1. Here it is. Strike is called. Cash began to take 1 step out of the batter's box towards the first base foul line and then moved back. So it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Well, the money's on the table, 3-2. Here's a ground ball right at the shortstop, pulled in waist high by Belanger. He throws out the speedy Cash, and that's the first out in the Pittsburgh third. Cash grounding out, Belanger at short to first baseman Powell. Richie Hebner now, the left-hand swinging Buck third baseman, is up. He skied to the outfield to shortstop Belanger into shallow left in the first inning. Hebner goes deep to the box. Dobson's first pitch to Hebner. Here's a ground ball, base hit right at second base out to right center. It's run down by Blair. A 1-out single jammed by second baseman Dave Johnson. Hit number 3 for the Pirates. They now have the tie run at third base with Hebner and bring up their most consistent swinger, Roberto Clemente. Dobson struck out Clemente with an off-speed breaking ball in the first inning. Clemente, 4 times the National League batting champion in 1961, 1964, 65, and 67. And what a great year he had in 1971, batting .341.
Powell will third dog at first base with one out against Hebner. Baltimore 3, Pittsburgh 2 in the bottom of the third. Hebner's lead will be with one out. Dobson looks to Hebner. Delivers Clemente. Here's a fly ball, deep right, headed for the wall. It is off the wall. No, it is called foul. It was off the wall and just to the right of the foul line. Called foul by the right field umpire, John Rice. And rushing out to right is the first base coach, John Leppert. Leppert now is really giving some lift to the right field foul line umpire Rice. Clemente took an outside pitch to the opposite field, right over the right field foul line, and then just as it hit the right field fence, it glanced to the right of the foul line and foul. Danny Murtaugh has now joined the argument between Don Leppert and the right field foul umpire, John Rice.
Still looking at the instant replay here in the booth. I want to tell you, it was very near the line. Very near. Certainly was an argument. It is not clearly foul, nor is it fair. And now on the instant replay that we have with our monitor here, we can watch it come down near and appears to be, honestly, a foul ball. But it was close.
Jim, the argument first started, initiated by the first base coach, John Leppert, with the right field foul line umpire Rice. Continues between Leppert and Rice. Murtaugh continues to join the argument. The second base umpire, John Kibler, has also been called over by Leppert and additionally by Murtaugh. Leppert is now complaining to Kibler. Murtaugh is saying right by John Rice. And as part of the argument vocally, but at the moment I don't believe heard by either Rice or Kibler, is the Pirate bullpen.
And we'll remind those around the world listening to us, Bill, that there are umpires down each foul line. And John Rice went out with the crack of the bat, was running toward the foul line. And if to give the umpire, I'm sure the Pirate fans won't like this, but the benefit of the doubt, he was much closer than Don Leppert, who wanted it to be fair and was calling it from his coaching box at first base. And the instant replay, as we said, we've watched it twice now. It is very close, but appears to us on the instant replay to indeed be a foul ball.
Jim Murtaugh walking away very slowly. He and Rice have finished their argument. Murtaugh tired in the Pirate jacket, walking slowly now to the first base area and walking to his first base coach, John Leppert. And Murtaugh, right at the moment, is also talking with a base runner, Richie Hebner. Murtaugh leaning right between Hebner and Oriole first baseman Boog Powell. Again, the first base coach, Leppert, raises his arm, looking out to the right field umpire, John Rice. And Murtaugh had started to go to the Pirate dugout and then turns around and goes back to his first base coach, Leppert. So it's a long strike off the bat to the opposite field of Clemente. Hebner's at first base with one out. Baltimore leads in the ball game 3-2. This is the first big argument and the first really controversial situation we have had in the 1971 World Series. Clemente still not ready, just picking up some dirt around home plate. Now Clemente will dig in. Dobson watches Hebner. Delivers 0-1. Here's a line drive, made in shallow right, being run down by Frank Robinson. Holding his second base is Hebner. Clemente has delivered his sixth base hit in his World Series, and now has the first no-hitting streak in World Series play of 11 straight games. Pittsburgh has the tie run at second base with Hebner, has a potential go-ahead run at first base with Clemente, as manager Earl Weaver marches to the mound. Baltimore begins to warm left-hander Grant Jackson in its left field bullpen, along with a right-hander Dave Leonard. Everybody tries to pitch Clemente outside, and whether they do or not, Clemente, whether he's pitched outside or inside, does have opposite field power. As a matter of fact, some years ago, it was the opinion of most every baseball man that Clemente had the greatest opposite field power of anybody in baseball. So Pirate fans actually going wild, first on a controversial foul call on the right field umpire Rice on the long hammering drive by Clemente, and now doubled over Cash for the Pirate run in the first inning. 2 on, 1 out. Breaking ball is low and away to Stargell. Dobson, who had a shaky first, again throwing on thin ice here in the bottom of the third. Stargell, 1-0, takes the strike to himself. 1 ball and 1 strike. Stargell just had a fabulous start in 1971. He had 11 home runs in the month of April and finished off with 48 to lead the majors. He's battling Dobson, 1-1 with 2 runners on at second and third. Outside, the low to Stargell. 2 balls and 1 strike. Baltimore got rid of starter Luke Walker early in the very first inning. And now the Pirates trying to get rid of Baltimore's Dobson here in the third. The 2-1. Swing and a miss, and Stargell, he let it all go. He was right field power conscious against that breaking ball into his hands, Dobson. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Baltimore bullpen still active. Right-hander Leonard and left-hander Jackson. Hebner at second, Clemente at first, 1 away. On a 2-ball, 2-strike situation to Stargell. The next delivery, fouled right back, ripped off the middle of Stargell's bat. It is pretty difficult to believe that back in 1959, when Stargell broke into organized ball, he was only 5 feet 10 at 152 pounds, and look at him now, 225 pounds of power in Stargell against the setting Dobson. His 2-2 issue, swing and a foul on the ground, back of the plate. So Stargell right now, he's looking for a pitch in his happy zone, and Dobson's trying to keep it away from Stargell's long ball power. Stargell squeezing that bat and holds it right down on top of the knob. Etchebarren wigwag signals out to the gaze and the set to Dobson. The 2 runners are checked. 2-2er. Popped up into shallow center. Back is Belanger from short. On comes Blair. It's Blair's call, and it's Blair's put out in shallow center field. Out number 2 in the Pirates' third inning. Hebner still at second. He had the 1-out single. Clemente, who followed him with a base hit to right, is still at first base. And here is Al Oliver. Oliver looped a popping 2-bagger into shallow center in the second inning. When it bounced, it then bounced over Blair's head for a 2-bagger to score Stargell and make it 3-2. It is still 3-2 here in a controversial third inning. Oliver, a left-hand swinger off the plate. Line drive, right field, base hit. Hebner rounding third, coming home. Frank Robinson's throw is cut off, and the run scored. Ties it up 3-3. The throw home from right field by Frank Robinson, cut off between first base and home plate by Boog Powell. Oliver's on a 2-for-2 night, has now driven over 2 at Pittsburgh, 3 runs, and this 4th World Series game starts all over. Baltimore 3 and Pittsburgh 3. On the RBI, single to right by Oliver. Hebner is scored from second base. Clemente goes from corner to corner. He's now at third with 2 outs, plus Oliver at the other corner at first base to be held by Powell. A run and 3 hits off Dobson. This is 3 runs, 5 hits overall by Pittsburgh. And here is the right-hand cutting Bob Robertson. He went out on a ground ball to the mound to Dobson in the first inning. The corner runners lead. Swing and a foul. It comes ripping off the middle of Etchebarren's mask, back of the plate, and strike 1 to Bob Robertson. The young Pirate sensation out of the state of Maryland, facing the Baltimore Ball Club from the state of Maryland here in the bottom of the third with Oliver at first and Clemente at third and 2 outs and a 3-3 deadline. Dobson watching Etchebarren, checks the runners off the corner. His 1-strike pitch is a check swing ground ball towards the first base foul line, fielded by Dobson. He throws out the check swinging Robertson for the final out. But give the Pirates a tying run with 3 base hits. They leave men stranded at the corners. At the end of 3 innings of play, it's now Baltimore 3 and Pittsburgh 3.
Along with Bill O'Donnell, Jim Simpson back at Three River Stadium in
Pittsburgh. Bruce Keeson, the young 21-year-old from Pasco, Washington, warms up with Manny Sanguillén. The Orioles, who broke to a 3-0 lead in the first inning, had that lead chipped away for 2 by the Pirates at the bottom of the first, and Al Oliver is just singled the tying run at 3-3 as we go to the top of the fourth inning. It'll be Boog, Powell, Davy Johnson, and Andy Etchebarren. And since Keeson has come on, he has given up a double, a looping ball that bounced over the head of Oliver in center field. Other than that, he has retired the other 7 men that he has faced. And here he is now, right-hander Keeson, left-hander Boog, Powell, and Bill O'Donnell.
In the top of the fourth inning, Powell starts it off. His sacrifice fly scored an Oriole run in that 3-run first inning. The Orioles have not scored since. They're in a 3-3 lockup. Change-up is a strike poured in by the youngster Keeson. Well, you have to think that Keeson, when he did come on in the first inning to relieve Walker, he must have had he had those funny butterflies moving around in that stomach, but I'm sure now he's a little bit more confident. So 1-strike deal, off speed again outside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Powell. If there has been any steady diet of pattern workmanship to Powell, it has been off-speed pitches by the Pirate pitching corps. Keeson's 1-1 deal. Fastball is low, 2 balls and a strike. Powell, 1 hit in 12 at-bats in this 4th game of the World Series, did knock over his first run. His sacrifice fly for out number 2 in the first inning scored Rettenmund. Keeson 2-1ing Powell. Fastball, strike. He just challenged Powell, belt high, and Powell looked at him. 2 balls, 2 strikes as we start the top of the 4th. Well, normally you talk about nail-biting time late in a ball game. I guess in a World Series it's nail-biting time anytime, especially right now in a 3-3 tie. 2-2er. High pop-up along the first base foul line into foul territory is Robertson, the first backer, and he gloves it. Powell fouls out to Bob Robertson. Keeson in relief retired the first 3 men he faced. Johnson for the 3rd out in the first inning. Then Etchebarren and Dobson for the first 2 killings in the second before the 2-bagger by Blair. Since Blair's 2-bagger in order, he has set down Belanger, Rettenmund, Frank Robinson, Brooks Robinson, and now Powell to begin the top of the 4th. Dave Johnson, strike is called at his knee. Johnson, an extra base power right-hand swinger. Grounded out 3rd to 1st in the first inning. Inside for a ball, 1 ball and 1 strike to Johnson. In 1969, Johnson batted .280. Last year, .281. This year, .282. So that's consistency personified. He's hit in the back, letter high. He tried to twist out against Keeson's inside pitch, turned on the pitch, and was hit in the back right about letter high around his number 15. So Johnson is a 1-out base runner. Hit by Keeson with 1 gone in the top of the 4th, and here's Andy Etchebarren. Minor league days or major league days, Etchebarren just finished off his finest season with an average of .270. Stroked 9 homers, drove over 29 runs. Sanguillén sets the outside target. Here's the ground ball to the shortstop. Hernandez the second. 1 out to Cash. Cash to Robertson. Johnson wiped out at second. Etchebarren out at third on a 6-4-3 Pirate infield double killing. In the middle of the 4th inning, it's Baltimore 3 and Pittsburgh 3. So that's the bottom of the 4th inning. Sanguillén got a pitch belt high right down the middle of the plate and hammered a line shot single to left center. That is hit number 6 now off Dobson to go with 3 Pirate runs. Pittsburgh had 2 in the first with 2 runs, had 3 in the 3rd when they tied it up, and now Sanguillén starts off the bottom of the 4th inning. And that'll activate Baltimore's bullpen again, as it was activated in both the first and the 3rd inning. The batter is the slender Pirate toothpick building shortstop, Jackie Hernandez. He lined to center to Blair in the 2nd inning. Sanguillén at first. Breaking ball is outside. The Pirate hits have been by Hebner, Clemente, Stargell, a pair by Oliver, and both drove over runs. And here's Sanguillén to begin the bottom of the 4th inning, smashing a base hit to left center.
It's ball one, no strikes to the right hand, swings of Hernandez, bending at the waist. Sanguillén runs, pitches cut out and missed, throws late to second base, and Sanguillén has a steal. Sanguillén dove in head first. He was running, Hernandez swinging and protecting him, and Sanguillén has a steal. Sanguillén got a good break after the pause by Dobson on his pitch to the cuts of Hernandez. Stealing is nothing new for Sanguillén, although he's a big early field catcher. He had 6 steals during the 1971 season. He's at second, nobody out. Breaking ball, bounces him out. Sanguillén is caught between second and third. Dobson runs right at him, throws to Belanger, and 2 steps away from the bag. Belanger tags out Sanguillén, wastes time. A comeback ground ball hit right at Dobson. And he didn't throw to anybody. He knew he had Sanguillén in a rundown halfway between third and second. So Dobson did not lose his composure. He did the wise defensive thing. He ran right at Sanguillén and made Sanguillén make a move. And when he went back toward second, Dobson talked to Belanger, who made the belt-high tag. So Hernandez is the base runner at first. 1 is out. And the pitcher is up, Bruce Keeson. Square, turns, bunts, and misses, strike 1. A snake breaking ball to the outside corner, and Keeson, trying to bunt, was over the breaking ball. Keeson now has asked the plate umpire, I believe, Ed Fargo, for extra time to double-check with signs flashed his way by third base coach Osiak. Friends, we're in the bottom of the 4th inning of right now the most thrilling World Series game of 1971. Dobson with a high toss to first base pulls Powell off the bag to the outfield side against the lead of Hernandez. Hernandez at first, 1 out, score tied, 3 apiece. Keeson was up in the second inning and looked at strike 3. He spreads the feet, turns again, bunts to the first base foul line and off the line foul. So Keeson, trying to advance Hernandez into a scoring spot, is now behind Dobson at 0-2. The Buccos on-deck man is leadoff batter Dave Cash. Oriole bullpen staying active here in the bottom of the 4th inning. The left-hander, Grant Jackson, plus the right-hander, Dave Leonard. They both were warming in the first inning as well as the third, and they're back up again here in the bottom of the 4th inning. One thing that Dobson has against Keeson, he's got a lot of strike zone because Keeson is tall, 6'4". He sets to the belt, delivers, breaking ball is low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. He kept it down and low and inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes, a runner aboard at first base, and 1 out. In shallow right, Frank Robinson. In shallow right center, Blair. Pulled a bit to left center is Rettenmund. Tight at third, Brooks Robinson. The 1-2. Inside, as a matter of fact, Keeson had a duck under it. So it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Signs now flashed across the letters and down the arm of third base coach Frank Osiak. On the other side, the Pirate Lieutenant Don Leffert watching the lead closely of Jackie Hernandez. As will Dobson from the mound, plus first baseman Powell. Hernandez sets off his lead. 2-2er. Fouled off to the right. Dobson and Keeson keep riding at a count of 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Pirates greeted Dobson with 2 runs and 2 hits in the first inning after Baltimore baptized and knocked out Walker with 3 runs and 3 hits in the first inning. The Buccos have since tied it up. Outside and low, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Keeson was down 2 strikes to Dobson. And Dobson may be trying to be a little bit too fine with pinpoint control. Is 3 balls and 2 strikes against Keeson. Hernandez with as much of a lead as he can get. Will he run? He stays. It's low, ball 4. Keeson walks. Hernandez advances to second. 2 Pirate runners with 1 out in the bottom of the 4th inning and the leadoff. Runners with 1 out in the bottom of the 4th inning and the leadoff man coming up. Right-hand batting second baseman Dave Cash. Dobson has just given up his second walk,
And for the second time in this ball game, Earl Weaver is marching to the mound. If he wants to go to his bullpen, he's had Jackson warming for quite a spell. He's also had Leonard warming for quite a spell. At the moment, Weaver has not made an indication. He has marched hurriedly between catcher Etchebarren and pitcher Dobson. Weaver with his hands right on his hips, jawing with Andy Etchebarren and also jawing and conversing with Pat Dobson and slapping his hands. And I'm assuming what Weaver is trying to do is convince Dobson that he must concentrate and must throw strikes. Weaver has made his decision for the moment. He is staying with Dobson. If he makes another visit here in the fourth inning, he must go to his bullpen, where left-hander Jackson and right-hander Leonard still throw easily. Cash has walked and scored and has bounced to short. Hernandez is second. And Walker, who just walked, at first base. And one gone on the Pirates' fourth. Cash strokes the foul. Back of the plate, strike one. Talk about youngsters who, enjoy baseball and perhaps, as teenagers say, look forward someday to becoming professional ball players. I'm sure you have to put Cash in that category because when he was a youngster many years ago and a teenager in Utica, he and his mother used to take long bus rides to Ebbets Field to watch the Dodgers play. One striker to Cash. Here's a ground ball slowly out towards third, and it goes foul halfway down the line. Cash took a big cut and was out in front of a Dobson pitch. So, Dobson, who is 2 strikes on top of Keeson, is now the same way to lead off man Cash at 0-2. The Pirate base runners, Hernandez at second, and pitcher Keeson at first. Baltimore got 3 in the top of the first inning and hammered out Walker. Then Keeson shut the door. Baltimore had its lead cut apart by the Pirates, who scored 2 in the bottom of the first, and then the Pittsburgh Ball Club tied it in the bottom of the third. They're threatening again here in the fourth, 2 on 1 out. The 2-strike pitch whipped in. Curve is a little bit outside as Cash just checked his swing in time. Cash had that finger on the bat. He had the finger on the trigger and then just loosened it up off the trigger. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Dave Cash. Cash shows 2 hits in 14 at-bats in this World Series. Keeson, the runner at first base, not held by Powell. He's got the windbreaker on to keep the right arm warm. Off second base, Hernandez with only 1 away. Dobson to Cash, 1-2. Breaking ball slapped towards short. Belanger shovels to second, 1 out. The throw to first in time. And Keeson, who tried to take out Johnson with a shoulder-high move, rolled over. And here's Johnson pointing right at Keeson. So the Orioles get a twin killing. Belanger to Johnson to Powell. They got Keeson at second, who barreled in, chest and shoulder high to Johnson, just as he got rid of his double play throw to Powell at first base at the end of 4 innings. Baltimore 3 and Pittsburgh 3. We hit the top of the 5th inning. Keeson ready to throw to Pat Dobson, and here's Bill O'Donnell. All right, Jim, Keeson and Dobson so far have looked at each other once. Dobson looked at strike 3 from the right-hander Keeson in the 2nd inning. Dobson, Blair, Belanger, Game 4 of the 1971 World Series. Top of the 5th inning and a 3-3 tie. Strike is at Dobson's knee. Keeson with the arms draped down by the side, and the slender right-hander has his signs from Sanguillén. Sidearm breaking ball tapped in beautifully for strike 2 called. Dobson is down, 2 strikes to Keeson. Baltimore, 3 runs, 4 hits. Pittsburgh, 3 runs and 6 hits. Okay, 0-2. Swing and a foul right off the end of Dobson's bat. Bruce Eugene Keeson, born in Pasco, Washington, and still resides in the Pacific Northwest. Dobson laying that bat behind the right shoulder. Checks his swing and fouls it off to the right of home plate. So it's still a holding count of 0-2. The Pirate outfield, Stargell in left, Oliver in center, and Clemente in right are playing Dobson straight away. The shortstop, Hernandez, shades his glove side. Way outside, a ball and 2 strikes to Dobson.
Keeson, in relief of left-handed starter Luke Walker, has hit a batter, fanned two, and given up a base hit. He 1-2s Dobson, strikes him out swinging. They'll give the 21-year-older Keeson his third strikeout in relief. He saws off Dobson, and now he'll face Blair, who's had a perfect night and a perfect World Series. Blair, with a base hit in the first inning left center, scored a run as he romped home in a fastball by Sanguillén. He doubled with two away in the second inning. Blair has gone to left center and to right center with his two hits tonight. Batting with one gone. He twists around, loses his balance on a high, tight pitch. 1 ball and no strikes. The probables in Game 5 tomorrow afternoon. Nelson Browse for Pittsburgh, Dave McNally for Baltimore. Strike outside corner to Blair. 1 ball and 1 strike. When Blair batted in the second inning, we told you about his only base hit in the '66 World Series, a home run to win Game 3. He also did a great job with a glove. It's in the dirt and outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. And I would guess that the Dodger of '66, who most remembers Paul Blair, would be Jim Lefevre. As Blair just played robber against a left center field fence drive by Lefevre to preserve, turned out to be a 1-0 Baltimore victory. He's 2 balls and 1 strike against Keeson. Keeson has been on the scene in relief since the first inning. 2-1 now. His stroke foul off to the right. Keeson, as we told you, is a side-arming right-hander. Likes to challenge hitters, as he just challenged Blair right there. Hit to her. Inside, and Blair has to brace himself on one hand to keep from completely falling down. Keeson became a side armor because as a teenager he was hit on the elbow and the arm, causing considerable pain. Found out throwing sidearm he didn't have any pain. 3-2. Hit out to center field, a fly ball being chased by Oliver. He's on the warning track and one-handed. 2 steps back on the warning track in center field. Blair is out number 2 in the top of the 5th inning in a 3-3 Oriole Pirate 4th game tie. Baltimore leads in this World Series 2 victories to 1. They won the first 2 games at Baltimore's Memorial Stadium 5-3 and 11-3. Pittsburgh won its first game yesterday 5-1 behind Steve Blair. The batter is Mark Belanger. He has an infield base hit and he's also popped up. Strike is letter high. Right at the bag, a step inside the line is third baseman Hebner against Belanger's speed. Low and outside, it just missed the corner. And Sanguillén, a little annoyed at plate umpire Vargo. Old Sanguillén thought he had the strike called. 1 ball and 1 strike. Belanger played as an opposite field swinger by the Pirate outfield. 1-1er. Check swing, it was low, and here's Sanguillén asking Vargo to double check with Jim Odom. And Odom agrees with Vargo's check swing call back at home plate. 2 balls and 1 strike to Belanger. He's at the plate with 2 gone in the top of the 5th inning. The winding Keeson 2-1, and Belanger has to sit down. That was right into Belanger's ear. He twisted away and sat down right in his chest. 3 balls and 1 strike. Keeson has hit a batter. He ripped Dave Johnson on the back in the 4th inning. And he almost got Belanger in the ear here in the top of the 5th. He's fallen behind on a 3-ball, 1 strike count. Hebner tighter at third against Belanger. Then is Robertson at the other corner. 3-1 now. Strike right down the middle. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Mark Belanger. Belanger 3 for 12 in this World Series. Improved his batting average over last season by some 40 points. It's a fly ball right center field way. Oliver from center calls off Clemente. There's Oliver. He's got it measured, and there's the third out. At the end of 4.5 innings. Baltimore 3, Pittsburgh 3. A 3-3 tie in the bottom of the 5th inning, and here with pleasure is Jim Simpson. That Dobson hanging in there. He has been on the ropes in 3 of the 4 innings he has pitched. Pitching now to Hebner, outside and high, ball 1. Hebner popped out in the first, single, moved to second on Clemente, single in the third, and scored the tying run on Oliver's single. Strike 1, 1-1 to Hebner. 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Orioles. 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Pirates. Keeson has blanked the Orioles since coming on in the last of the first. Back with a breaking pitch up high. It is 2 balls, 1 strike to Hebner. Dobson has walked 2, struck out 2. Hebner left-handed swinger. Now 2 for 5 in series play. Dobson back with a breaking pitch. It misses inside, and Hebner started to throw the ball, or rather the bat away, figuring it was ball 4. But it's 3 balls, 1 strike. On deck is Roberto Clemente. Baltimore bullpen with a count of 3-1 is up and throwing again. Brad Jackson has been up and throwing. Left-hander. That is up and throwing again. Back with a breaking pitch. It's foul down the right field line. Jackson at the moment the only one throwing in the Baltimore bullpen. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Hebner. Now he is joined by Dave Leonard. Danny Murtaugh has gone to his bullpen but once, and that's the good-looking Bruce Keeson, who's done a commendable job since coming on in the last of the first. 3-2 to Hebner, who waits. Dobson throws breaking pitch, called, strike 3, catches the outside corner, and catches Hebner on his way to first with what he thought was a base on balls. But Dobson throws the breaking pitch and strikes him out. Here is Clemente that went down swinging at a breaking pitch in the first inning, and then involved the Pirates and umpire John Rice down the right field line in the biggest dispute of this 1971 World Series. A ball that was barely foul. Our instant replay monitor from television showed us John Rice called it foul, but the Pirates, and particularly first base coach John Lippert, argued long that it was a fair ball. Clemente hit the next pitch he saw after that dispute for a base hit, moving Hebner down to second, from whence he scored the tying run. 1 out in the 5th. Dobson ready to throw to Clemente. Overhand pitch that stays down low to Clemente, below the knees. It's ball 1. Playing Clemente as they always do, at least they always have in this series, Baltimore, to hit to right. Always has that body out over the plate, although his legs are moving around quite a bit. Looks like he's bailing out. Dobson ready to throw another off-speed pitch, and it's fouled back past the screen. 1 ball, 1 strike. The 5th game of this World Series tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. Our air time, 12:45 Eastern Time. Baltimore leads 2-1. This game is tied 3 apiece. 1 ball, 1 strike. Breaking pitch right past Dobson into center field, base hit. Base hit number 7. Clemente takes the big turn at first base. Blair rifles the ball in to Davy Johnson. And that Baltimore bullpen begins to work again as Willie Stargell steps up. Stargell hit a breaking pitch and doubled to deep right, driving in. Dave Cash with the first Pittsburgh run back in the first, and then battled Dobson only to fly to short center field in the third. Everybody looking for the Major League home run champion to uncork one, and with Clemente at first and 1 out, Stargell, the left-hander, steps in against the right-hander Dobson, who keeps it low and away. It's out of the strike zone, ball 1. In the National League Championship Series, National League pitchers from the Giants had great success with Stargell with the fastball in tight around the letters. In this particular game, Dobson has been working mostly away, and there's a breaking pitch that catches the outside corner. Dobson has been working on the outside of the plate to Stargell and has been hurt on one occasion with a run-scoring double. Stargell later scored the second run himself. 1 ball, 1 strike. They play Stargell, of course, a pull hitter way around the right. Now holding the runner Clemente at first base. Back with a fastball, it's too high, and it's 2 balls, 1 strike to Stargell. They will remember this first night game in series history a long time. First 4.5 innings have just been dead. And the crowd has reacted to almost every pitch. 2-1, Stargell waits. Hits one off the fifth, up the middle, base hit. Clemente on his way around second base. Blair in. Clemente on his way to third. Here goes the throw to third base. Over. Robinson backed up and down to second on the throw. Goes Stargell. The Pirates have runners at second and third with one out. And Al Oliver, who is 2 for 2, the hitter. First base is open. Oliver is a left-handed swinger. On deck is the right-handed swinger, Bob Robertson. And Andy Etchebarren now drops out to start the bat Dobson. Dave Leonard throwing in the Baltimore bullpen. Jackson is not now throwing. That's the 8th hit for the Pirates. 3 runs, 8 hits, no errors. The Orioles have 3 runs, 4 hits, and no errors. Now Oliver steps in. Last time he was first ball hitting and ripped a single to right. And they're going to put him on. Setting up the possibility of the double play, of course, or the play to the plate at least. And Bob Robertson, who twice has been badly fooled by Dobson pitches, the last time checking his swing, but both times in the first and third innings, rounding right back to Dobson at the mound. That's ball 3 to Oliver. Clemente over third base. He is 2 for 3 tonight. Stargell is also 2 for 3. He is down at second base, and now Oliver drops down to first after the intentional walk, and here comes Bob Robertson. Robertson has but 1 base hit. That was when he missed the bunt sign in the 7th inning yesterday and swung away and homered to the opposite field, driving in 3 runs. Maryland Orioles got Dobson facing the now savage Maryland Pittsburgh slugger Bob Robertson. Bases are loaded with 1 out. Clemente coming down the line at third. All runners with short leads. Breaking pitch, it's too high, and it's ball 1 to Robertson. One of those cases where Dobson must be careful, but he can't be too cute. A walk drives in a run. He has got to challenge Bob Robertson. 1-0 pitch. Comes back with a fastball and is popped up to the infield. Belanger back. Clemente's down the line and will now run back to third base. And so thus far, the Orioles strategy has worked, and here comes Manny Sanguillén. Sanguillén bounced to Robinson at third base, singled and stole second in the 4th, and then was guilty of some base running, caught off second base when Hernandez bounced the ball back to Dobson. And they say in baseball, if you're going to have a rundown, only 1 throw is necessary. That's all it took to get Sanguillén. Dobson ran him back, then flipped to Belanger, who put the tag on. The base is still loaded, 2 out of this 3-3 ball game. We are the last of the 5th, and Sanguillén, a 300 hitter during the regular season, stands in. Right-hander with a slight crouch. He swings at everything. Swings this time. Ground ball Belanger. Belanger will go to Johnson at second base for the forced play. And it works perfectly as nailed at second base is Al Oliver. And the Orioles are out of another inning, and so is Pat Dobson. No runs, 2 hits. No errors, and 3 men left. We've gone 5 full innings. The Orioles 3. The Pirates 3. Easton ready to throw to Rettenmund, who is 1 for 2. Sidearm, inside with a breaking pitch. It's ball 1. Rettenmund beat out an infield hit. Hernandez did well to keep it in the infield, going far back on the grass in the first inning, and Merv later scored. And then Hernandez threw out Rettenmund in the 3rd with a chop behind second base. Here's a line drive to Hernandez. He takes it off his ankles, and he has been involved in all 3 times at bat. Merv Rettenmund, 1 out in the Baltimore 6th. And here's Frank Robinson. Robinson has hit at every game until this one. Walked intentionally in the 1st. And could not check his swing in the 3rd and went down swinging before Keeson. Keeson, the side-arming right-hander, has hit 1 batter. That was Davy Johnson. Has come close to hitting others and sends a breaking pitch too low. Frank Robinson, ball 1. In 130 innings in the Eastern League a year ago, Keeson, with that sidearm motion of his, hit 21 batters. Fastball fouled off down toward the third base coaching box. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Keeson, the ball got away from him, strides off the mound. Tall youngster, 21 years old. 1-1. Robinson stands in close to the plate, and talk about hitting batters. Only Ron Hunt now with Montreal has been hit more times than Frank Robinson, who fouls this pitch off to the left again. It skips up in the seats behind the Oriole dugout. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Robinson. Orioles got all 3 of the runs in the first inning. Keeson came on and got the last man, and since that time has given up just 1 base hit, hit a batter, and struck out 3 and walked nobody. Pat Dobson, as Bill told you, has been battling all the way. Only had 1 easy inning. That was in the second with the lower end of the batting order. Robinson ready again after the foul. 1-2, and Keeson ready to throw. Throws inside and hits Robinson, and that is the second man, and this time there was no chance for Robbie to get out of the way at all. He was hit in the knee as he twisted away from the ball, and Ralph Savon comes out the trainer to take a look at his knee. Robinson standing at home plate there. Just no chance at all to get away out of the way of that pitch. That is the 10th time this year that Frank has been hit 9 times during the regular season, and Belanger, who had to get out of the way of a head-high fastball in the last inning, has been hit 7 times. Robinson all right and is walking it off now, heading down toward first base. As we said, Keeson, with all that 6 feet 4 inches of him and the sidearm motion, comes off the mound almost from the third base side into a right-handed batter. It's just very difficult to get out of the way, but that pitch was simply way inside. Here's Brooks Robinson. Sacrifice fly, drove in Belanger with the second Oriole run back in the first. Checked the swing and grounded right back to Keeson in the third. And there's strike 1. Robinson, believe it or not, never been hit with a baseball. Well, Frank now has been hit 179 times in his major league career. Now the check over to first as Frank was about 4 or 5 steps off the bat. 3-3 the score. We're in the top of the 6th. 4th World Series game and the first ever at night. Keeson nods to Sanguillén. He has his side, and the fastball stays high. Although Sanguillén and some of the Pirate fans did not think so. And now for the first time since Keeson began to warm in the first inning, it's the Pirate bullpen that begins to get busy. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's like Bob Miller from here, the right-hander who has been around the National and American League before. Ground ball foul at the plate. Dave Mazzone, the bat boy of Baltimore, who retires after this year, picks it up and flips it away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now, Dave McNally, as Bill O'Donnell pointed out, pitched the opener last Saturday, won it 5-3. Nellie Bryles scheduled to pitch tomorrow, keeping in mind the problems of Dobson and the departed Luke Walker, has not pitched since September the 30th and pitched only 3 innings then. Keeson ready, 1-2, low and away, and it's 2-2 now to Brooks Robinson. Robinson, as all Oriole followers know, and so does the American League, a very dangerous, perhaps the most dangerous late inning hitter on the Orioles ball club. 2-2 pitch, long drive, center field. Oliver goes back near the warning track, waves, he's got it, and takes it with a stride on the warning track. And back to first base goes Frank Robinson. And that'll bring up Boog Powell. Powell is 1 for 13 officially, had a sacrifice fly back in the first inning that drove in Rettenmund with the third Baltimore run in that 3-run first against Luke Walker. In the 4th inning, Keeson did a magnificent job on Boog Powell. He busted a fastball in on him at the waist and then caught him looking at a breaking pitch that he swung a little late on and popped it up foul, and it was caught, and Powell was retired. 3-3 the score, 2 out. Robinson hit by a pitch, still on at first base. Keeson working left-handed. Powell pulls the ball right to Bob Robinson at first base. Well hit ball. He steps on the back, and that's it. No runs, no hits, no errors. Frank Robinson left on at first. We go to the last of the 6th. It's a thriller. Orioles 3, Pirates 3.
Tie in the bottom of the 6th inning. 3 runs, 4 hits for Baltimore. 3 runs, 8 hits for Pittsburgh. And in the bottom of the 6th inning, back we go to Jim Simpson.
All right, Bill, Jackie Hernandez. Blair made a fine running catch of his line drive in the 2nd, and he bounced the ball back to Dobson, and Sanguillén was trapped off second base in the 4th. 0 for 2. In this 3-3 ball game, Dobson to throw to the right-handed Hernandez, who tries to bunt his way on, but it is foul. And as we begin the last of the 6th, that was the 97th pitch thrown by Pat Dobson, who has not worked since September the 24th. And it might be win, lose, or draw, or the remainder of the game, if it is a tie, that Dobson may have to go, simply because he's thrown a lot of pitches. He's up to 97 already. Hernandez back in the box after trying to bunt his way on. Dobson ready. Breaking pitch inside, and Hernandez hits the dirt, but it was a change, and there was no danger of it being hit. And again, win, lose, or draw, you can mark one thing down for Pat Dobson. He is quite a competitor. Only not in trouble in the 2nd inning. 1 ball, 1 strike. Back with the fastball, line drive, Belanger, past his glove. Hernandez has a base hit. And that is base hit number 9. And here comes Bruce Keeson, who will get quite a hand. And I would imagine that both Brooks Robinson and Boog Powell will be breaking toward the plate. In a 3-3 ball game, in the later innings, the leadoff man on, and the base hit, and the pitcher up. They are looking bunt. Leonard begins to warm. In the Baltimore bullpen, they're breaking in. He misses the bunt. Now it is fouled as he caught it off the end of his bat and stays right there at the plate. Strike 1. One of the pretty plays in all of baseball to see as Hernandez took off for second. Boog Powell charging from first. Robertson charging from third. Davy Johnson on his way to first. To cover there. Belanger moving toward second. Everybody moving. 1 strike to Keeson. They're beginning to break in again. There's the bunt, and it's foul again at the plate. And now Keeson will take a look down to Osiak. A 9th hit. That's the most that the Pirates have had in the World Series, and this is the 4th game. Might be that they're still having Keeson bunting. We'll see. Called out on a fastball in the 2nd inning and had an 0-2 count on him in the 4th and drew a walk. Jackson is now throwing in the Baltimore bullpen. He is trying to bunt, but instead looks at a 3rd called strike. That's the 4th, and of course Keeson fails to move the runner down. Etchebarren runs out to talk to Dobson, his pitcher, as Dave Cash steps in. Cash walked in the 1st and scored ahead of Scargill's double. Has great speed. Hit a 3-2 pitch and grounded to Belanger in the 3rd and grounded into a fast double play in the 4th. Cash, a fine competitor, fine speed, and a good hitter. Hit 289 during the regular season. Hernandez, lead off first base. He is on his way to second base. Swing and a miss. Etchebarren throw down to second base. Into the stolen base. And that's the 2nd they have stolen off Dobson tonight. Now Keeson couldn't move him down, so Danny Murtaugh decided to send him down. And Hernandez steals second base. Cash swinging to protect the runner. And Pat Dobson will be forgiven for not holding Hernandez too close, because Dobson was probably told in the clubhouse meetings and scouting reports of the Orioles on the Pirates that Jackie Hernandez has not stolen a base all year. That is number 1. Strike 1 to count Cash. Hernandez with a good lead off at second base. Dobson looks back and throws. It's down low. 1 ball, 1 strike. 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Orioles. 3 runs, 9 hits, and no errors for the Pirates. And we're in the last of the 6th. Dobson throws fouled line into the seats. Down the right field side. And the fans are on. One of the ushers down there who grabbed the ball as it came back on the field, turned around and looked at the spectator, but did not toss in the ball. Said something and kept the ball in the ballpark. Dobson with a little room to work here. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Cash. Hernandez off at second with 1 out. Dobson throws way out, and Etchebarren does a great job to keep that from being a wild pitch. Had to dive to his right and backhand the ball as he fell down. Got up quickly, but Hernandez was not on his way. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jackson and Leonard continue to throw in the Baltimore bullpen. This crowd of well over 50,000 warming to this 4th game of the World Series, the first at night. They've got a dandy. It is 3-3. 2-2 pitch. It is inside, and Cash backs away, and he's gone all the way on it. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Etchebarren runs out for a count. By the way, I and a lot of other folks came into Three River Stadium tonight armed with raincoats, armed with top coats, and along the dugouts down the first and third base line, you can see top coats just tossed on top of the dugout. It's a rather comfortable night. As we came on the air, the temperature was 72 degrees. 3-2. Hernandez off at second base. Dobson ready to throw to Cash and throws. The ball hit right back off Dobson's glove. In charges Johnson, cannot make the play. Base hit. Hernandez goes to third. And that'll bring up Hefner. Dobson did not show the quickest reactions after stopping that ball. It rolled only, well, it was much closer to the mound than it was to Johnson playing deep at second. Johnson ran in. By the time he picked it up, Hernandez was at third. He could stop him from scoring. But Cash, who has a lot of speed, was well across first base. Consultation on the mound, and Dobson is out of there. And with the left-hander Hefner coming up, I would imagine it's going to be the left-hander Grant Jackson coming on to pitch to it. Hefner is 1 for 3 tonight in this 3-3 ball game. The go-ahead run is at third base with just 1 out. And as Jackson comes in, he is going to move in quite a part of that Pittsburgh batting order. Hefner, Clemente, and perhaps Stargell, Oliver, Robertson. Quite an awesome group that the Pirates have tonight. They banged out 10 hits as compared to 4 for the Orioles. The score at the moment is even Steven at 3-3. And here comes Grant Jackson, Bill.
Well, Jim, if Jackson comes on and the Baltimore starter Pat Dobson departs, the Pirates in only 1 inning fail to have at least 1 base hit. They have already delivered 2 base hits off Dobson here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Now, we take you to Tony Kubek.
Left-hander due up for the Pirates, Richie Hefner. Earl Weaver brings in Grant Jackson, a left-hander. We'll see if the Pirates now will switch to a right-handed pinch hitter. But while Jackson warms up, let's go down to Tony.
With me down here near the commissioner's box, Stan the Man Musial. And Stan, you played on some pretty good hitting ball clubs in your day, but this Pirate team's a pretty good hitting team too, isn't it?
Yes, they do. They have a lot of line drive hitters and a lot of power hitters, Tony, so they're a very good hitting club.
Do you think any of the teams that you played on were better than this?
No, they had a good all-around hitting club, but I would say they're missing a lot of opportunities here because they had a lot of chance to hit with men on here.
Well, you know, they've had a man in scoring position in every inning so far in this ball game, and of course they've only got 3 runs. Looks like they should have had more.
I agree with you, Tony, because sometimes you miss these opportunities why they pass you by.
Young Bruce Keeson, the right-hander, the sidearm, looks pretty tough too, doesn't he?
Yes, he's surprisingly, he keeps that ball down low, and he has a good sinker ball, so he's a tough little pitcher.
Yeah, we've talked about the Pirate Club, Stan, but this Baltimore Oriole Club does so many things so well. They're one of the best all-around ball teams I've seen in a long time.
No question about that, Tony. They're sound with their pitching, hitting, and defense, and they have a very fine ball club.
One more quick question. How's your golf game?
Well, I've been right, you're right.
You down around shooting straps?
Oh, no. All right, Tony, nice.
Stan Musial, thank you so much. Let's go upstairs.
A good life.
Baltimore's reliever, the left-hander Grant Jackson, has come on to replace Pat Dobson. Worked 5 in the 3rd inning. Has given up 3 runs and 10 base hits. Jackson, a left-hander, an ex-National Leaguer with the Phillies a year ago, primarily a fastball thrower.
Jackson to throw to Hefner, and there's a ground ball. Brooks Robinson has it. It happened so fast. Robinson dove to his right and caught the ball and looked to third base and was going to crawl to third base. But Hernandez got back very quickly. And there's 2 out. And there's another incredible play by Brooks Robinson. One pitch, a well-hit ball, and Jackson was retired one man. You know, it's a funny thing. As Earl Weaver trots out now to tell Jackson what he wants done with Clemente, and maybe that's all for Jackson, I don't know, with Leonard, the right-hander, throwing. Now in from second base comes Belanger. They may be setting up what to do, depending on what it is that Clemente does. But it's a funny thing. In Pittsburgh papers, after yesterday's victory, they were saying Brooks Robinson no longer was the human vacuum cleaner. That there'd been two doubles ripped down the third base line, and he didn't have the reflexes to make the catch. Well, I want to tell you, that was quite a reflex, diving toward third base that Brooks Robinson had there, and he came up with the ball, and it's 2 out now instead of 1 with runners at the corner.
Jim, I got to guess that one thing that Earl Weaver said to Grant Jackson, a left-hander, facing the right-hand swings of the Clemente, is that a left-hand batter, Stargell, is coming up next. And I would assume he didn't want to go with the right-hander Leonard against Clemente and then follow with the left-hander Stargell. So he probably has warned Jackson, don't give Clemente anything good. Work on him carefully and then go after Stargell next.
Clemente is 2 for 3. 11 World Series games Roberto has been in, and he's hit safely in all of them. And how? Jackson ready, throws outside and low. Etchebarren simply moved off the plate. And if you've been listening to these World Series games, you know that they work Clemente outside and preferably low. Boog Powell is now called on by catcher Etchebarren not to hold the runner, Cash, despite his speed at first base. They're interested in Mr. Clemente, especially since he hits to right and Powell backs up at first. 1 ball, no strike. 3-3 to score. We are in the last of the 6th. Jackson throws, fastball, strike. Clemente checked his swing, but it's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Clemente struck out of the curve in the first. Had that disputed ball down the right field line that was called foul and followed with a run-scoring single in the third. Single in the fifth. Check that is, single in the third did not score a run, but moved the man over who did score, which happened. You want action, he got it in this ball game. Jackson taking a lot of time and working. Now Etchebarren moves inside, and the pitch is inside and low, and Clemente fouls it off to the right. Andy Etchebarren simply does not lean one way or the other. He simply positions himself outside or inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. But again, Clemente is a great 2-strike hitter. Jackson, the left-hander. Hernandez down the line, pitches inside, breaking pitch. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Clemente keeps checking with Osiak at third base, and so does Hernandez, the third base runner. Etchebarren moves outside this time. The pitch is outside and low, and it is 3-2. Well, as Bill suggested, Jackson is working Clemente very carefully. He has kept the ball low. He has gone outside and inside. Primarily, his pitches have been to the outside of the plate. Clemente stepped out, now steps in. Jackson has pitched against him many times before. Etchebarren is outside. The ball is hit outside, foul, and deep down the right field line. Clemente had enough oomph with that swing of the bat to get it out of here had it stayed fair. But swinging late at the outside pitch, drilled it foul down the right field side. So again, it is 3 balls, 2 strikes. Cash will be moving off at first. Hernandez will be checking to see what happens at third. There goes Cash. Pitches low. Ball 4. Clemente walks. They're loaded up. And Wilbur Darnell Stargell, who has hit a double to drive in a run, scored a run himself, fly to center field, and single is the batter. Stargell has not had a home run in the championship series of the World Series. He comes up now with an opportunity for a grand slam. With 2 out of the 6, Pete Rickard now becomes a left-hander. Throwing in the Baltimore bullpen. Ground ball for Johnson at second base. Powell goes over to cover first. And again, the Orioles are out of trouble, leaving 3 more. That is 10 men they have left in 6 innings. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 3 left. We've gone 6 complete innings. The Orioles 3, the Pirates 3.
In the top of the 7th inning, in a 3-3 tie, it'll be the lower end now, the Baltimore order. Dave Johnson, Andy Etchebarren, and Grant Jackson. Now, since the Pirates still have this right-handed reliever on, Bruce Keeson, who made his appearance in the first inning for starter Luke Walker, there's a chance, I would think, that there could be a pinch-hitting situation for Etchebarren and might well also be a pinch-hitting situation for Grant Jackson. We say that because just a couple of moments ago, Oriole left-hand swinging catcher Elrod Hendricks rushed down to the Oriole bullpen. Johnson will be the leadoff man. He was hit by a Keeson pitch in the 4th inning. The Pirates have out-hit the Orioles 10-4. We've got a 3-3 tie on the top of the 7th. All right, Jim.
And Bruce Keeson, who's given up just 1 base hit and struck out 3 and walked nobody, prepares to pitch the 7th. Facing Dave Johnson, throws inside, but it tipped off the bat of Johnson as he swung around to get out of the way, and it's strike 1. Ed Vargo, the plate umpire tonight. Jim Odom at first, John Kibbert at second, Nestor Shylock at third, Ed Sudol on the left field line, and it's with John Rice, as there's the strike. John Rice that had the big battle with first base coach Don Leppard of Pittsburgh over whether Clemente hit was fair or foul. Keeson quickly ahead of Johnson, 0-2. Sidearm pitch outside and low. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. 3-3 the score. Eddie Watt now gets up to throw. There's been Leonard, Jackson who's in, Rickard, and now Watt. Crowd quiets for the moment as tall Bruce Keeson looks into Sanguillén. Now ready the 1-2 pitch. Curveball drilled out toward center field. Al Oliver coming over to his right and takes it for the first time. Andy Etchebarren, who hit a ball very hard to cash at second base and was thrown out in the 2nd inning and hit the first pitch that he saw in the 4th and grounded into a double play. Up for the 2nd time. 0 for 2. We are in the 7th inning. And in the late innings in a tie ball game, you want to guard that third baseline, and that is what Rich Hebner is doing right now. Just a step or 2 off the bag at third base, off the line. Keeson steps off the mound to rub up the ball. Pirates got all of their runs in the 3-run first. The Orioles did. The Pirates came back with 2 in the first, and the Orioles were tied in the 3rd inning. There's a strike on a breaking pitch. 3-3. String of zeros set up by Mr. Keeson. 5 thus far. Holt, look out, hit him right in the back. That's the 3rd man he has hit tonight. A breaking pitch, and again, there was absolutely no chance in the world for the batter to get out of the way of the pitch. It hit him in the back, a curve coming in from behind Etchebarren, and the go-ahead run goes down to first base. And now I am sure that you will not see Mr. Jackson come out, but rather, it looks like Tom Chopay. Chopay, the spray hitter, who hit .257 this year, did not hit a home run, had 5 RBIs, but he is a left-handed swinger and will come on to bat for Jackson. Jackson worked 2/3 of an inning. Walked 1 man and bailed at Dobson, and the Orioles out of a lot of trouble. Now we have activity in the Pirate bullpen, a right-hander. Matter of fact, 2 right-handers. Dave Justy, the man with all those saves during the regular season, 30 plus 3 in the championship playoffs, and the veteran Bob Miller. 3-3 the score. Etchebarren down at first. Chopay the batter. Chopay has been up once before, and he is 0 for 1. Hebner is thinking bunt, comes in. The ball is inside and low. Ball 1. Hebner coming in from third base, figuring that Chopay is up there to move him along. Pat Dobson, the departed pitcher, is a dandy bunter. Jackson, the pitcher of record right now. Low. It is 2-0. An important man for Keeson and the Pirates to get if they do not get it. They will have Etchebarren at least down at second base. And with the top of the batting order coming up. Auto strike. Top of the batting order features Paul Blair, who has 2 hits, and the third time he's in Oliver very deep in center field. Geeson has set a series record for hitting batsmen. 11 different pitchers hit 2 in a game, but nobody's ever hit 3 before, but Bruce has done it. Back again, swinging and missing, and a breaking pitch in under the hands. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. They play Tom Chopay around to the left, figuring that he will not pull the ball. Big gap between left center and right field. Upside, up high, it is 3-2. Hine inside. 3-2 with 1 out. Let us see if Etchebarren is going with just 1 out. 3-3 the score. Not going, ground ball over the head of Geeson. Cash comes up with it behind second base, goes for second base, and just put his foot on the bag in time. Looked as if to throw, then stabbed his foot at the bag and gets the front runner, Etchebarren. Chopay, on the force play, is at first base. And that brings up Blair. Singled and scored in the first. Doubled in the second. The ball was actually hit not that hard, but bounded over the head of the outfielder after taking 1 bounce. And then drove Oliver in the last inning on a 3-2 pitch very deep in center field. Check to Chopay at first base. You'll recall that in the last inning when the Pirates could not move Hernandez along with the bunt, they had him stealing. Geeson has now checked twice over to Tom Chopay, where Bob Robertson holding him. Blair does not swing at a high pitch. Offered, but then checked his swing. It's ball 1. This is indeed a pivotal game. Baltimore wins it. They lead 3 games to 1. Would only need to win 1 of the remaining 3. Pirates win it. It's a whole new series. Outside with the pitch, it's 2-0. It would be tied at 2 games apiece, with the 5th game due here tomorrow afternoon at our airtime Eastern Daylight Time, 12:45. If more games are necessary, Friday's an off day, and we resume again in Baltimore on Saturday. 2-0 the pitch. Ball is hit high and deep. Back goes Stargell. He's at the warning track near the wall and appears to have it in range and takes it for the 3rd out. 2-0 the pitch. Ball is hit high and deep. Back goes Stargell. He's at the warning track near the wall and appears to have it in range and takes it for the 3rd out. Blair hits the ball 370 feet away, but Stargell was at the wall to drag it in. A run, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left. We go to the last of the 7th inning. The Pirate home 7. The Orioles 3 and the Pirates 3. Well, the Orioles are bringing on their second relief pitcher of the evening. They had Grant Jackson replace Pat Dobson last inning. Jackson faced 3 men. He walked Clemente, and then he got the big out, forcing Stargell with the bases loaded and 2 gone in a 3-3 tie to have Stargell bounce out second baseman Johnson to Powell. Watt in the 7th inning, now making his second World Series appearance this year. He pitched an inning in yesterday's game and gave up no runs against Pittsburgh. In the bottom of the 7th inning, Watt will face Al Oliver, Bob Robertson, and Manny Sanguillén. Now, as far as Watt's overall record was concerned, during 1971, Watt won 3, lost 1. He had more saves than anybody out of the Oriole bullpen, 11. Appeared 35 times in relief, strictly short relief, as the left-hander Pete Rickard also worked in short relief. Watt worked 39 and a fraction innings and had the very best earned run average on the Oriole staff, less than 2 runs a game. Watt's pitching equipment, pretty simple. Fastball, slider. His slider might be his very best pitch. In the bottom of the 7th inning, he'll face Al Oliver, and here's Jim Simpson. All right, Bill O'Donnell, and another interesting statistic about Eddie Watt. In those 39-plus innings, he gave up but 1 home run, if you're thinking long ball. Al Oliver, perfect night. 2 base hits and an intentional walk. And he has driven in a run. Makes that 2 runs he's driven in. Swings at the first pitch, loses his batting helmet. And it's strike 1. Oliver drove in Stargell in the first inning with a double. And then came on to score Hebner with a line drive single right in the 3rd. Walked intentionally to load the bases in the 5th.
Watt ready, back and throws again, catches the outside corner with a fastball, and quickly Oliver is down to Ed Watt, 0-2. Last of the 7th inning, 3-3. Ball is fouled out of play, past third base, up in the seats. Well, perhaps it is with a sense of the dramatic that baseball has given us such a game for the first night game in World Series history, and this the 398th World Series game to be played. 3-3 in a ball game that has had action in nearly every half inning. And for the Pirates, in every half inning but one. Watt back and throws a breaking pitch. It's strike 3, and Oliver knew it. Watt strikes out Oliver, and here comes Bob Robertson. Robertson is now 0 for 3 in the ball game. He has grounded back to the pitcher twice and has popped out to the shortstop Belanger. When he popped out last time in the 5th inning, it was with the bases loaded and 1 out. Beautiful night. They were talking about rain showers. If they come, they'll have to come much later tonight. Watt ready to throw. Right-hander to right-hander. Ground ball. Belanger can't get to this one. It rolls on through into center field. And Robertson has his 2nd World Series base hit. That is the 11th hit for the Pirates. And more importantly, it puts the go-ahead run on at first base with Manny Sanguillén. 1 for 3, the hitter. Sanguillén possessed a fine speed for a catcher. And as we said, he is up there to swing. He walks seldom. Sanguillén all year long had 19 walks. 13 times he was walked intentionally. Swinging fouls tip at the plate. 19 times he walked. 13 other times he was walked when he had nothing to do with it. They walked him intentionally. And consider that Sanguillén played in 138 games and was up 533 times. You'll know that Manny is up there to swing. Crouching right-handed batter. Watt checks with the runner Robertson, who does not have great speed. Throws a fastball. Line drive right up the middle. Base hit. Robertson will stop at second base. And now there are 2 on with 1 out, and Jackie Hernandez the batter. The Orioles have been on the ropes throughout this ball game. In the 2nd inning, their 7, 8, 9 batters went down in a row. Other than that, the Pirates have been something else again. They left 14 men on in Monday's game. Thus far tonight, they've left 10 men on in this 3-3 tie. And now we are going to have a pinch hitter. It is Vic Davalillo coming out. Davalillo, a .285 hitter during the regular season. Left-handed batter against the right-hander Watt. Davalillo has been up 1 time and got a base hit and scored a run in this World Series. Rickard and Tom Dukes now up throwing. 3-3 the score, and you wonder if the breakthrough is going to come, and by which team. Right now, the Pirates threatening a breakthrough. Davalillo fouls the ball at the plate. It's strike 1. On deck is Bruce Keeson, but also the bullpen of the Pirates is busy. Just in case they want to get a big inning, they will go to their bullpen and put down Keeson for a pinch hitter. Dave Justin with the palm ball and all of those saves. Throwing hard now in the Pirate bullpen. Pirates have had 12 hits. Orioles have had 4. But in the run column, thus far, it's all even, 3 apiece. Watt taking his time, ready with a 1-strike pitch to Vic Davalillo. Throws, the ball is popped up foul, will come back toward the sweet out of play. Back at home plate. Bob Robertson down at second base, Manny Sanguillén on at first. Sanguillén at first does have, as we said, excellent speed, and Davalillo has also possessed a good speed. It would be a difficult double play unless the ball is hard hit. Of course, Robertson must move over to third, and Brooks Robinson is stationed there. 2 strikes to Davalillo.
One out in front of him. Echeverria moves to the outside of the plate. The ball is thrown. The ball is popped up out in the short center field. Blair's on his way over and is there and now drops the ball. Robertson comes on to third base and will stop right there. And now they've got Sanguillén dropped off. Throw to second. He is in. He is out. Blair drops the ball. No run scores. Robertson has to stop. 8-6-4 for the putout. And the Pirates still have not scored. And now, Milt May is coming out on deck to pinch hit for Keeson, and Earl Weaver comes out to talk to Eddie Watt. Again, Hernandez sent Blair into left center field. Blair got there plenty of time after a long and swift run. He had the ball, dropped the ball. Robertson, who was between second and third, started. Sanguillén, again tonight, is picked up for the second time. He had rounded second, and the ball went from Blair to Belanger to Johnson for the tag. We have runners at the corners, first and third, with 2 outs. There's an error charged to Blair. And the crowd continues to hum as young Milt May, a catcher, comes out. May, a .278 hitter during the regular season, but only in 49 games, 126 at-bats. And he is 0 for 1 in the World Series. Father was Pinky May. Managed in the minors, played majors briefly. May, a left-handed swinger. Bill O'Donnell, I'm sitting here trying to think of what has not happened in the fourth game of the World Series. 3-3. May steps in. Robertson over at third base. Hernandez on the air, on at first base. Eddie Watt with 2 out can concentrate on May. Throws him a breaking pitch. It's down low. Ball 1. Watt ready. Hernandez off at first. He's not going anywhere. Fastball out into right field, and it drops in front of Blair. Robertson scores the go-ahead run. And May delivers, and the Pirates lead 4-3. Goes over to third base, and here comes Dave Cash, who is 1 for 3, plus a walk. Now Gene Alley goes in to run, and Alley, believe it or not, has been having leg problems. Injured, but he is in to run for May. Eddie Watt started the 7th by striking out Oliver. Bob Robertson hit the first pitch for a single up the middle. Sanguillén single up the middle. Blair, after the long run, dropped the ball hit by Hernandez, but Sanguillén was trapped off at second base. May came on to bat for Keeson, who stands to win this ball game if this 1-run lead stands up. We're in the last of the 7th, and May single to right field, scoring Bob Robertson. It's 4-3. And Cash, who walked and scored in the first, grounded out in the second, grounded into a double play, and got a base hit off the glove of Dobson in the 6th. He's up. Right-hander pitching to right-hander. Down low with the first pitch, it's ball 1. Rickard and Duke still throwing. And I'm sure we'll see Justy in the 8th inning for the Pirates. Trying to save this 1-run lead, and what a job he has done, including the league championships. He has had 33 saves this year. Watt on the Orioles are not out of it yet. Comes back with a breaking pitch. Hit 2 is low, and it's 2-0. And Watt, the right-hander, can stare over at the left-hander, Hebner, waiting on deck. Should Watt lose, Dave Cash. Pirates looking for the beginning, but there are 2 outs. Watt ready and throws. Strike ball. Fastball at the knees. 2 balls, 1 strike. Well, until now, the Pirates had left 10 men on base in their efforts to get the go-ahead run. Fastball out to right field. Robertson breaks back on it, is there in plenty of time, and has it for the 3rd. Pirates have scored the go-ahead run. 1 run, on 2 bases, makes that 3 base hits, 1 error, and 2 left. We've now gone 7 full innings, and it's the Pirates 4, the Orioles 3.
Well, the real ace of the Pirate bullpen core to come on in the top of the 8th inning. It is the Chunkyville right-hander, Dave Justy, and what a 1971 campaign, a championship campaign he had for Danny Murtaugh, the Pirate. Justy, although he had a losing relief record, winning 5 and losing 6, came on 58 times from the Pirate bullpen, finished 49 Pirate games, had 30 saves, and worked 86 innings, so most, if not all, of Justy's pitching performances in late innings such as this. And he comes on to try to hold the Pirate lead of 4-3. Baltimore has not scored since the first inning when it hammered out the left-handed starter Luke Walker. And Bruce Keeson came on to get the final out in the bottom of the first inning. And after that, all Keeson did was give up just 1 base hit, a 2-out double to Paul Blair in the second inning. Additionally, however, Keeson did hit 3 Oriole batters, Dave Johnson, Andy Etchebarren, and also Frank Robinson. Here we go now with the top of the 8th inning. Dave Justy on to pitch for the Pirates, and Jim Simpson.
Mark Belanger, who has an infield hit in 3 times at bat, takes the first pitch down low. It's ball 1. 4-3 the score. Justy has pitched in the World Series before. That was in the second game when things were out of hand. He pitched 1 scoreless inning, by far and away the most effective Pirate pitcher that day, as he has been almost all year coming out of the bullpen. This is a strike. And Justy comes right back. Trying to save the game for Bruce Keeson and the Pirates. Trying to give the Pirates an even Steven 2 games apiece break with the Orioles, who won the first 2. With the 5th game of the World Series due tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock with our broadcast time, 12:45 Eastern Time. Belanger has a count of 1-1, and Merv Rettenmund is on deck, as Justy must work to the 2-3-4 batters of the Orioles here in the 8th inning. Justy, a right-hander, staring in at Belanger, who did not hit a home run all year. Takes outside with a breaking pitch. It's 2 balls, 1 strike. 4 runs, 13 hits, and no errors for the Pirates. 3 runs, 4 hits, and 1 error for the Orioles. The Orioles have had 2 games in which they have committed 3 errors. And theirs is a superb defense, but has been tested and has broken at the seam several times in this series. Outside with the pitch again, and Justy now has 3-1 the count, and Belanger looks down to Billy Hunter. With Rettenmund and Robinson to follow, Belanger wants to know, does he take a chance on the 3-1, or does he take a chance on Justy missing with the 3-1? Go-ahead run driven in by young Milt May. Strike right down the middle. By the way, he forgot to put him in. Alley, who went in to run for May, stays in the ball game and has gone to shortstop. 3-2. Back with a fastball, called strike 3. Buck Belanger looking at a 3-2 count, and he has something to say to Ed Bargo. Justy down 3-1 with 2 strikes right past the looking Mark Belanger. And here's Merv Rettenmund. Infield hit in the first. Chopped the ball, thrown up by Hernandez in the third, and line to Hernandez in the sixth. He is 1 for 3. The attendance 51,378. Rettenmund, who hit a 3-run home run earlier in the series, takes low from Justy, ball 1. And we can say without fear of contradiction that 51,378 are the most ever to watch a nighttime World Series game. Rettenmund finished 3rd behind Oliva and Mercer in the American League batting rates, 318. Strike. Thrown by Justy. 1 ball, 1 strike. And Justy's doing what all good relief pitchers should do. He is throwing strikes. He's got the lead with that good palm ball of his, plus the fastball. He is challenging the Oriole right-handed batters. Got Belanger looking, 1-1, or Rettenmund, who grounds the ball toward Cash down to one knee, picks it up at second base, goes on to Robertson, there's 2 outs. That'll bring up Frank Robinson. Walked intensely in the first, struck out in the third, trying to check his swing, and was hit in the knee by Keeson, one of a record-setting 3 men that he hit in the 6th. Robertson has hit in every ball game except this one in the World Series. and has 2 home runs, and Stargell backs up very deep as they swing around in the outfield to left. Justy ready to throw to Frank Robinson, who takes low, ball 1. On deck is Brooks Robinson. This is probably the best shot that the Orioles will have at catching the Pirates in this, the 4th game. They've got the Robinson boys coming up. Outside, Justy is 2-0. Frank Robinson gets some dirt on his hands. Dangerous right-handed hitter. The only man in the history of baseball to be the most valuable player in both leagues. Justy ready. He throws again. The ball is popped up. Cash says he's got it at second base. Waves off Robertson. Has it, and Justy does a superb job. The runs hit the errors. We go to the last of the 8th. Pittsburgh 4, Baltimore 3.
Pirates lead by a score of 4-3 now as we move to the bottom of the 8th inning. Eddie Watt, who was the Baltimore reliever in the 7th inning when Pittsburgh broke the 3-3 tie to go ahead. Watt in the bottom of the 8th to go against Richie Hebner, and we bring back Jim Simmons.
Hebner 1 for 4. Facing Watt. Eddie's first pitch backs him out of there and very nearly hit him. Ball 1. Hebner, the left-handed batter. From Massachusetts. Could have been a pro hockey player had he wanted. Rickard continues to throw. Outside with a pitch. It is ball 2. Earl Weaver still wants to have one last shot, with the difference between the two teams only 1 run. 2-0 the count. Watt back, it is fouled back. Strike 1. It'll be Brooks Robinson, Boog, Powell, and Dave Johnson in the Baltimore 9th. The Orioles' last chance. 2 balls, 1 strike. Watt ready to throw, and there's a drive deep to right field. Frank Robinson goes back to the warning track and is there and hauls it in for the first out. And here comes Roberto Clemente. Clemente struck out in the first of the curveball, and since then has 2 base hits and a walk. World Series games in which Clemente has appeared in 1960 and now in 1971, and he has hit safely in every single one of them. One of the premier hitters of National League history, and certainly one of the greatest right fielders in all of Major League history. Roberto Clemente. And you should see the runners screech at second base when there's a base hit to right field, extending the opportunity to go to third. Clemente has got the great rifle on. 4-3 to score. Last of the 8th. Pirates lead it. Clemente. Watt to throw, and it's a swinging strike 1. And again, Watt, as all Oriole pitchers have done, works Clemente to the outside of the plate. On deck is Wilbur Stargell. Watt ready, throws, ground ball. Into the hole goes Belanger, throws from the grass and does not get it. The outfield turf. Belanger wheeled and an off-balance throw, and Clemente beats it out for his 3rd hit of the ball game. That is the 4th hit off Watt, and that is the 14th hit by the Pirates. And here comes Earl Weaver. As Stargell comes up, Rickard has been working. Stargell is a left-handed swinger. Rickard's a left-handed thrower. And this could be all for Eddie Watt. Weaver taking a little time, and now tells Ed Watt that he is through. Watt can be the losing pitcher. Came on in the 7th inning. Has worked 1 1/3 innings. Given up a run. Responsible, of course, for Clemente at first base. 4 base hits, struck out 1, and walked no one. And Bill, here comes Pete Rickard. Clemente's down at first base with 1 out of the 8th inning, 4-3, the Pirates. They win this one, we've got at least a 6-game World Series. It'll be all even at 2-2. Rickard throws, strike 1. Pete is in his 3rd series game. He's 31 later on this month. Clemente off at first base. Rickard looks at him and then throws a ground ball foul by Boog Powell at first base. Down runs on to fair territory now, and Frank Robinson will have to retrieve it out in deep right field. 2 strikes to Stargell. Robinson has retrieved the ball, and Rickard is ready to throw as Frank takes his position, waving that he's ready. 0-2 to Stargell. Stargell has 2 hits and 4 attempts tonight. One of them, a run-scoring double. Takes a breaking pitch, and it's strike 3, and Stargell sits down on 3 pitches. Rickard strikes out Willie Stargell. That's the 6th Pirate to go down. And here is Al Oliver, who is 2 for 3 plus a walk and has driven in a couple of runs. Another left-handed batter, and he takes high with a fastball from Rickard. It's ball 1. Clemente on at first base as a result of the infield hit. Belanger going back on the turf in the hole at short, throwing off balance, could not get the speedy Roberto Clemente. Rickard throws, catches the outside corner with a breaking pitch. It's 1 ball, 1 strike to Al Oliver. On deck, Bob Robertson. We are in the last of the 8th. The Pirates lead it by a run and would like more. Fastball is outside. It's 2-1. Rickard did not appear in the championship series against Oakland. Matter of fact, he hasn't worked since September the 28th against Boston. Tonight's 2 starting pitchers have not worked in 3 weeks. Luke Walker, long since gone since September the 22nd. Pat Dobson now gone since September 24th. Pitches outside at 3-1. Dave McNally, who opened and won the first World Series game, will pitch tomorrow. His opponent will be Nelson Briles, who has not pitched since September the 30th. Only 3 innings then, and had a pulled thigh muscle in his last appearance against the Phillies. 3-1. Rickard right back fastball. Left field, where Merv Rettenmund moves in a couple of steps and now back and to his right and has it for the 3rd out. No runs, 1 hit. No errors. 1 left. They've gone for 8 innings. The Orioles have 1 more chance in the 9th with Robinson, Powell, and Johnson. At the end of 8, Pittsburgh 4, Baltimore 3.
Simpson. Bill O'Donnell back with you at Pittsburgh's Three Rivers Stadium. Dave Justy about to start his 2nd inning in relief. And he will initially face 2 men with long ball power, Brooks Robinson and Boog Powell. And excuse a little bit of guessing time in the NBC radio booth. Etchebarren is the 4th due batter here in the top of the 9th inning. They could bat Hendricks if they get that far for Etchebarren.
Brooks Robinson 0 for 2 plus a sacrifice fly. Swings at the first pitch. Off ball, it's strike 1. Well, the most valuable player in the World Series a year ago, Brooks Robinson, against a premier reliever in the National League, Dave Justy, 9th inning with the Pirates leading by a run. Justy right back, misses outside and low, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Big Boog Powell with 1 base hit. But 2 balls well hit tonight waits on deck in this 4-3 game. We are in the 9th. Justy back with another foul ball down low, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. They play Brooks deep and swung around to the left. Bob Miller up and throwing in case the Orioles do tie the game. 1-2, ground ball toward Alley at shortstop. Waits for the second hop. Comes the throw on to Robinson. 1 out. The Pirates are 2 outs away from tying the World Series. Manny Sanguillén walks back, pounding that glove out in front of the plate. Urging Justy on as Big Boog Powell, who drove Oliver very deep with a sacrifice fly to the wall in the 1st inning, fouled out in the 4th, and hit a hard smash at Robertson glove down at first base in the 6th is up again. Now, with 22 home runs, 92 RBIs during the regular season, battling that injured right hand. And he'll be looking long ball. Justy knows it as he winds to throw. Changed on the pitch, and it's outside ball 1. 4 runs, 14 hits, no errors for the Pirates, who left 12 men on base. 3 runs, 4 hits, 1 error for the Orioles, who've only left 4 men on base. They have not had many opportunities. Another change outside and way high. It is 2-0. The Orioles' only real threat was in the 1st inning when they collected all 3 runs. They left a man on in the 2nd, another in the 6th, another in the 7th. Bruce Keeson was simply superb. 6 in the 3rd innings, 1 base hit, struck out 3, walked nobody. Hit 3 batters. As he was a hero in the final game of the National League Championships, Keeson could be the big hero again tonight. Powell steps out on Justy, who was already in his windup. Of course, he had called time before. Dave stares around, now looks into his catcher, Sanguillén. 2-0 the count to Powell. Comes in, it's up high off the glove of Sanguillén, and is 3-0. Crowd becomes a little apprehensive. Pirates lead it by a run, 4-3. Ninth inning. Big, tall Dick Hall now up and throwing in the Pirate bullpen. 3-0 pitch, and there's strike one. And Powell was taking all the way. Now with 3-1 the count, he looked down at Billy Hunter, who simply turned his back on him. Now comes back, flashing the signs, and Powell steps back in. 12:45 Eastern Time, fifth game tomorrow from Three River Stadium. 3-1 the count. Drive, it is popped up. Foul territory. In comes Hefner by Sanguillén, chases it down and passes to the second out. The scoreboard flashes Beat a Bucs as Dave Johnson, the last hope for the Orioles, comes up. As it is now, unless Johnson comes through, the Orioles will be tied in their series with the Pirates after winning the first two. And we have a certainty of a six-game series and going back to Baltimore. But the Orioles are still alive in the top of the ninth. With 2 out and Johnson the batter against Justy. Swing, drive, one hop to Alley. He's up with it, throws on to first. They won it. Center field flashes how sweet it is. The Pirates on the drive by May in the 7th inning have untied the ball game 4-3 and have tied up the World Series at 2 games apiece. Keeson the winner, Watt the loser. The final score: Pittsburgh 4, Baltimore 3. We'll have some highlights for you after this message.